Chapter 1669. They didn't stop the cultivators from following them, not because the Nine States Alliance was kind, but because it was impossible to follow the Nine States Alliance's fleet all the way to the Nine States. Along the way, danger lurked everywhere, and many sea beasts wouldn't attack the huge fleet. However, they would attack the cultivators following behind the fleet. Therefore, many cultivators were killed by the beasts. The surviving cultivators realized that it was too dangerous to follow the Nine States Alliance's fleet to the Nine States continent, so they all chose to return. A small number of cultivators, such as Lin Feng, still followed behind the Nine States Alliance's fleet. "It's foggy," a cultivator said. This was an ocean filled with fog. Soon, the Nine States Alliance's fleet disappeared without a trace. "There's a natural formation or a magnetic field here. The Nine States Alliance's fleet has a nautical chart, so they won't be affected. However, we're trapped. Let's rush out quickly, or we'll lose them," a cultivator shouted and sped up with his companions. Lin Feng had noticed this group of cultivators before. He realized that they were memorizing the route the Nine States Alliance's fleet took. They were probably trying to draw a nautical chart. If they could successfully draw it, they could sell it for a sky-high price. There were many people who had the same goal as this group. Soon, shrill cries could be heard. Of the dozen or so cultivators who had charged forward, 2 managed to escape. Behind them were a swarm of insects that blotted out the sky and covered the earth. Demonic fog insects. Many people turned pale when they saw those insects. The demonic fog insects were a type of poisonous insect unique to the sea. They moved in groups and appeared together. These poisonous insects usually only appeared in areas shrouded in fog. Once a cultivator encountered these poisonous insects, it would be a disaster. The 2 cultivators who were escaping couldn't escape the demonic fog insects. Their bodies were instantly submerged, and in the blink of an eye, they became a pile of bones. Seeing this scene, many people were already scared to the point that their faces turned pale. It was really too terrifying. "Run!" The remaining cultivators all fled. Lin Feng frowned slightly. He didn't escape with the other cultivators because if he did, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to catch up with the Nine States Alliance's battleship. Therefore, Lin Feng activated a heavenly fire light shield and rushed forward. The demonic fog insects blotted out the sky and covered the earth as they flew towards Lin Feng. A large number of demonic fog insects were burned to ashes, and Lin Feng successfully rushed out of the demonic fog insects. He flew quickly in the sea filled with white fog. Finally, he rushed out and saw the fleet in front of him. Right now, he was the only one left who was able to follow the fleet from afar. After a full 3 months, the weather gradually became colder. Lin Feng saw a huge world of ice appear in his sight. "The world of the tundra. We have arrived at the 9 prefectures." His face lit up. He had some understanding of the 9 provinces. After passing through the sea and seeing the endless world of ice, he arrived at the northernmost region of the 9 provinces. It was rumored that was an area ruled by the Snow Clan and the Ice Clan. The temperature was more than 1,000 degrees below zero. It was much colder than the extreme north of the Tianwu continent. It was almost impossible for other races to survive in such cold weather. Buzz! Suddenly, a violent fluctuation came from one of the battleships. Not good. Lin Feng's face changed slightly. He was extremely familiar with this kind of energy fluctuation. This was the energy fluctuation produced when the spirit stone cannons were fired. Boom! Boom! At the next moment, the spiritual stone cannons were bombarding Lin Feng. In the blink of an eye, the spiritual stone cannons exploded. When the energy dissipated, Lin Feng had disappeared without a trace. "The last tracker has been blown to pieces. We can leave now." A sneer came from the ship, following which, the gigantic warship quickly left. Obviously, the Nine States Alliance's fleet wouldn't let the cultivators who followed them go. If there was such a cultivator, they would be mercilessly killed. After the Nine States Alliance's fleet left, Lin Feng stepped out of the void. The spirit stone cannons were very powerful. Those people naturally didn't think that Lin Feng could survive. That was why the cultivators on the ship thought that Lin Feng had been completely destroyed by the spirit stone cannons. His body and soul had been destroyed. Not even a severed limb was left behind. However, Lin Feng had the heaven-mending technique. He wanted to borrow another chance from the heavens. When the spirit stone cannons were about to kill him, he used the heaven-mending technique to avoid the terrifying power of the explosion. Then, he hid in the void and successfully avoided the Nine States Alliance's cultivator's sight. Lin Feng quickly flew toward the Origin Ice World. The Origin Ice World was extremely cold. Even he was shivering from the cold. Therefore, Lin Feng had to circulate the heavenly flame in his body to let it emit heat and dispel the cold. In addition to being extremely cold, the Origin Ice World was full of broken restrictions. If he was careless, he would be killed by the restrictions. These were the restrictions of the Origin Ice World. Some of the restrictions contained the power of Emperor runes, so they were extremely terrifying. Even Lin Feng had to be careful. Is that an ice dragon? Lin Feng was shocked when he saw the corpse of a huge creature. It was the corpse of an ice dragon. Its body was about 500 to 600 meters long, and its surface was covered in icy scales. It was Lin Feng's first time seeing such an ice dragon. He cut open the ice dragon's body and took out the dragon core. This was the ice dragon's origin crystal. It was extremely precious. He did not stop and continued to travel deeper. The Origin Ice World was boundless. Lin Feng did not see anyone along the way. Snow fluttered. His body was covered in snow, almost turning him into a snowman. Roar! Roars shook the sky as the two behemoths engaged in a fierce battle. It was a huge Icelandic titan and an Icelandic giant alligator. The Origin Ice Titan was 1,000 meters tall, while the Origin Ice Giant Crocodile was 1,000 meters long and 300 to 400 meters tall. The two behemoths of the two races fought each other, fighting until the heavens collapsed and the earth split apart. Even the icy plains were split apart. Lin Feng had no interest in watching the two behemoths fight. He continued to travel deeper. On this day, he saw cultivators flying over from afar. Lin Feng was delighted. Since he saw cultivators, did that mean that he would see a city soon? A group of more than 10 cultivators also saw Lin Feng and quickly flew over. It did not take long for them to meet up with Lin Feng. The group of cultivators was led by a thin, middle-aged cultivator. "You're alone?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "I'm lost in the Origin Ice World. I don't know how long it will take for me to find a city. If you can tell me, I'll definitely thank you." Chapter 1670. This is the northernmost region of the icy plains, and we'll have to pass through many dangerous areas. We'll even have to pass through areas where ferocious beasts roam. If you're not familiar with the terrain, you won't be able to pass through the icy plains and return to the region where cultivators are active. How did this little brother get here? It's really strange. The others were also quite confused. Lin Feng was traveling alone in such a dangerous place. It was really strange. Lin Feng said, "It's like this. I followed some other cultivators from the East Sea, but we encountered a powerful beast and many of us died. The rest of us were separated, and I'm traveling alone in the icy plains. I don't know where I've ended up." Lin Feng still had some reservations about these people, and he didn't tell them the truth. It was better to be cautious when traveling. Moreover, the world of cultivators was filled with conflict and deception. If one wasn't careful, they could die. As such, Lin Feng didn't really trust these people. The middle-aged cultivator said, "We're going to the Ice Rift Valley to collect some glacial essence. Little brother, you can come with us and follow us back to the 9 provinces." "There's glacial essence here?" Lin Feng was shocked. He had heard of it before. It was a liquid formed from the origin of the earth after countless years of transformation. It could only appear in extremely cold places. It could greatly increase a cultivator's cultivation, and it could be said to be the most precious natural treasure. That's right. It's the glacial essence. If we can really collect it, little brother, you can have a share of it, the middle-aged cultivator said. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said calmly, "Thank you for your kindness, fellow Taoist. I can't thank you enough. In that case, I'll follow you to the Ice Rift Valley to look for the glacial essence." The middle-aged cultivator nodded and said, "I'm Wu Yuan. How should I address you, little brother?" Lin Feng, the middle-aged cultivator, then introduced the rest of the group. Afterwards, the group continued on their way through the icy plains. The icy plains was a vast expanse of whiteness, and it was easy to get lost and get trapped. Ordinary compasses, and other directional devices were of no use in such a cold place. Perhaps they would crack as soon as they were taken out. Lin Feng noticed that Wu Yuan was holding a special compass. The compass's qi was oppressive. It wouldn't be affected in the icy plains. Wu Yuan explained, "This compass is made of 9 glacial ice. It's specially made for use in the icy plains. It's incredibly valuable. Even if you have money, you can't buy it." Wu Yuan's tone carried a hint of complacency. The reason why they were able to travel smoothly through the icy plains was because of this precious compass, said Lin Feng. "It seems like you often come and go in the ice field, right?" Wu Yuan nodded and said, "Although the climate in the ice fields is terrible and it's hard to survive, there are indeed some rare treasures here. However, whether or not you can obtain these treasures depends on your own ability. The ice fields are much crueler than other places." Lin Feng nodded. At night, they rested in an ice cave formed by an ice mountain. It was not suitable to move around in the icy plains at night, because during the day, the temperature in the icy plains was negative 1,000 degrees Celsius. At night, the temperature would plummet. It could reach negative 3 to 4,000 degrees Celsius. Such a cold temperature. If he went out, he would definitely be frozen into a popsicle. At this time, some of the powerful beasts in the icy plains would also come out to look for food. Moreover, at night, there would often be strong winds in the icy plains. In such a cold place, once the wind blew, the cold wind was like a blade. It would cause serious damage to a cultivator's body. Hiding in the ice cave to withstand the cold wind was the best choice. Furthermore, the temperature in the ice cave was much higher than outside. These people are not good people. The Black Bear Devil King sent a sound transmission to Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded. How could he not see through this? But Lin Feng also wanted to obtain the ice essence. If those people didn't plot against him, then everybody would be safe and sound. They would all get rich together. That would be the best outcome. If these people dared to scheme against him, then Lin Feng wouldn't mind killing them all. The world of cultivators. It was cruel to begin with. In a world that ate people without spitting out their bones, there could be no mercy, because it was very likely that you would lose your life because of it. So many years. What kind of things had Lin Feng not experienced? Thus, he had long since developed a decisive personality. That night, the outside world was not peaceful. The cold wind howled, and the roars of beasts shook the heavens. Fortunately, the place they were hiding in was not visited by any vicious beasts. The next morning, everyone continued to move forward. Only 10 days later did they arrive at the Ice Rift Valley. It wasn't an easy task to find such an ice rift valley in the boundless world of ice. The group flew down. Screech. A sharp, ear-piercing cry rang out. Below, vicious beasts flew up one after another. These were a type of bird-type vicious beasts. They were about a meter long and snow-white in color. Their bodies were like crocodiles, but they had the heads of wolves. This kind of vicious beast was called the winged wolf-head crocodile. It was a relatively common vicious beast in the icy plains. "Activate your flying swords and kill them," Wu Yuan shouted in a deep voice. Clearly, he was very experienced. The group summoned their flying swords and attacked the winged wolf-head crocodiles that were charging up from below. Pooh! Pooh! Tearing sounds rang out one after another as blood splattered across the sky. A large number of winged wolf-head crocodiles were killed. The remaining winged wolf-head crocodiles did not dare to continue attacking the group. Instead, they took a detour. The group continued to fly down and finally arrived at the bottom of the Ice Rift Valley. Then, they headed deeper into the valley. At the bottom of the Ice Rift Valley, there were many large cracks that led to the depths of the earth. "It's the third tunnel. I wonder if there's any danger in the third tunnel?" A cultivator asked with a slight frown. In the third tunnel, waves of cold inchi permeated the air, causing people to involuntarily have a hair-raising feeling. At this moment, the group looked at Lin Feng. Wu Yuan said with a fake smile, "Why don't you go down and scout the way, Taoist Lin?" Perhaps this was the reason why the group had brought Lin Feng here. They wanted to have Lin Feng scout the way for them. Many of the cultivators had ferocious looks in their eyes, which was a complete contrast to the kind smiles they had on their faces before. It was as if Lin Feng did not agree to it. They would immediately attack and kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng unexpectedly nodded and said, "All right, no problem. I'll go down and scout the way. You guys wait here." Chapter 1671. Haha, don't worry, Brother Lin. If there's any danger, just give us a shout, and we'll immediately go down to help you. Wu Yuan smiled. His face was full of sincerity, and his words sounded even better than a song. Lin Feng naturally didn't believe Wu Yuan's nonsense. He smiled and didn't say anything. Instead, he walked into the tunnel. The passage was extremely dark and gloomy. Lin Feng had the impression that the coldness was piercing through his bones. He didn't encounter any danger on the way, and when he reached the depths of the cave, he discovered a huge underground world. In this underground world, there was a frozen lake. On the walls of the frozen lake, there were 9 Qilin heads formed from ice. The Qilin heads' mouths were emitting shocking waves of energy. The glacial essence of ice is inside the Qilin heads? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows and quickly rushed in the direction of the Qilin heads. As soon as he flew into the lake, a cold aura spread out from the lake. Then, a huge creature rushed out, opening its bloody mouth and trying to swallow Lin Feng. Lin Feng was stupefied. He quickly moved to the left and dodged the terrifying creature. At that moment, Lin Feng saw what was attacking him. It was a cobra. However, the cobra's body was too big. It was over 100 meters long, and it had a pair of wings. Cobras were poisonous snakes that could be seen everywhere. However, this was the first time Lin Feng had seen such a huge cobra with a pair of wings, so he couldn't help but be shocked when he saw the 2-winged cobra. The 2-winged cobra let out a sharp cry and rushed toward Lin Feng. It opened its bloody mouth and spat out a dark green poisonous fog. The poisonous fog spread throughout the underground world. The air was instantly corroded by the poison. What a powerful poison! Lin Feng was astonished. He hastily stopped breathing and released his celestial fire to protect himself. Then he used his great poison technique. The 2-winged cobra's poison was extremely terrifying. However, after Lin Feng displayed several of his techniques, even if it was the venom of the 2-winged cobra, they couldn't hurt him. Whoosh! Lin Feng leaped up and rushed toward the double-winged cobra. He used his palm as a saber and slashed out a dazzling saber light. When the 2-winged cobra saw that it couldn't kill Lin Feng with its poison, it swung its thick tail at him. A loud bang was heard. The cobra's tail was really powerful. After blocking Lin Feng's attack, it also sent Lin Feng flying. A muffled bang was heard. Lin Feng's body slammed heavily into the rock wall. The 2-winged cobra quickly rushed towards Lin Feng. The 2-winged cobra opened its bloody mouth and bit toward Lin Feng. Immortal binding rope? Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he directly took out the immortal binding rope. Whoosh! At such a close distance, the 2-winged cobra couldn't avoid it. Its huge body was directly tied up by Lin Feng's immortal binding rope. It struggled violently, but the more it struggled, the more its body was tied up. Lin Feng didn't kill the 2-winged cobra. It would be a pity to kill it. It was such a powerful poison. It could be subdued. It could be a good help. He ran the great purification technique. The powerful purification power poured into the 2-winged cobra's mind and directly purified its soul. This 2-winged cobra was obviously very bestial. It didn't know the transformation technique yet. However, after being purified by Lin Feng, it felt more close to Lin Feng. Lin Feng put away the immortal binding rope. He patted the 2-winged cobra's head. The 2-winged cobra immediately responded with a hissing sound. Lin Feng didn't understand the snake language. He didn't know what this guy was talking about. He flew towards the 9 Qilin heads. Looking at the 9 Qilin heads, he couldn't help but click his tongue in wonder. Sometimes, he couldn't help but sigh at the magic of the Creator. He could condense 9 Qilin heads as if they were real. He took out a portion of the ice essence from each Qilin's head and sealed them. He had a total of 9 bottles of ice essence. The 2-winged cobra was put into Lin Feng's mountain river ring. Bibi and Dragon Rabbit were very happy after seeing the 2-winged cobra. They treated it as a new playmate. The 2 little guys were completely unaware of the danger and horror of the 2-winged cobra. Lin Feng warned the 2-winged cobra not to hurt Bibi and Dragon Rabbit. Otherwise, he was really worried that the two-winged cobra would eat BB and Dragon Rabbit. Then Lin Feng went back the way he came. In the passage, he found more than a dozen corpses. These corpses were the corpses of Wu Yuan and the others. They were all poisoned to death. It should have been when he was fighting with the two-winged cobra. The two-winged cobra spewed out a large amount of poisonous fog. A part of the poisonous fog entered the tunnel. Coincidentally, Wu Yuan and the others entered the tunnel at this time. They inhaled the poisonous fog and died from poisoning. Lin Feng didn't have a good or bad impression of these people. Although he knew that Wu Yuan and the others had bad intentions towards him, Lin Feng had seen this kind of thing too many times. It could no longer arouse his emotions. It's not bad to be buried in this place, Lin Feng muttered. He put away the storage rings of the dozen people and left. Lin Feng found a map in Wu Yuan's storage ring. This was a map of the Icefield world. It wasn't particularly detailed, but it marked some places to be careful and pay attention to. With the map and Wu Yuan's compass, Lin Feng was able to find a way out. Smoothly leaving the Icefield world was no longer a difficult thing. However, before leaving, Lin Feng planned to go into seclusion to refine the ice pith. He found an ice cave, sealed it with a restriction, and entered it. Then, he took out the ice pith. Lin Feng refined 7 bottles of ice pith and broke through to the 8th sky of the Void God realm. There were still 2 bottles of ice pith left, because even if he refined them, it wouldn't be enough for him to continue breaking through. The ice pith's effect is quite good. It's a pity that there's too little of it, Lin Feng muttered. Then, he came out of seclusion and flew towards the world of the 9 states following the map. After about 2 months, he finally left the depths of the Icefield world and arrived at the outer region. There were snowy mountains everywhere. Snow was falling. When he passed by a snowy mountain range, Lin Feng heard the sound of fighting. He flew towards the direction of the sound and saw more than a dozen cultivators besieging 2 female cultivators. The 2 female cultivators were tall and had long silver hair. They were extremely beautiful. They should be women of the snow race. The women of the snow race had silver hair, and each was more beautiful than the other. The cultivators besieging the 2 women were male cultivators. They were extremely ugly. Those cultivators exuded a frosty aura. Cultivators of the ice race. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Chapter 1672. The Snow Clan and the Ice Clan were 2 ancient clans. They had existed for a very long time. Lin Feng had heard about that before. The 2 clans had developed over countless years, so it was inevitable that there would be all kinds of grievances between them. The Snow Clan and the Ice Clan had always been like fire and water. That was why the cultivators of the Ice Clan and the Snow Clan were fighting. Lin Feng didn't find it strange. Shuaxian, Shuefei, if you know what's good for you, hurry up and hand over the ice-snow sacred lotus. That way, you can live. If you don't know what's good for you, don't blame us for being ruthless, said a cultivator of the Ice Clan, smiling coldly. His eyes were gleaming with a perverted light. The men of the Ice Clan were very ugly. The men of the Snow Clan were handsome and confident. The women of the Ice Clan were as beautiful as fairies. That was why the men of the Ice Clan had been eyeing the women of the Snow Clan. In recent years, the Ice Clan had been growing stronger and stronger, while the Snow Clan had been weakening. Every year, the Snow Clan would offer many beautiful women to the Ice Clan. After experiencing the beauties of the Snow Clan, the men of the Ice Clan became more and more ambitious. Some of the women of the Snow Clan who were alone met with the cultivators of the Ice Clan. If Shuaxian and Shuefei were ordinary women of the Snow Clan, the men of the Ice Clan wouldn't have been afraid of them. But the 2 women weren't ordinary. They were the adopted daughters of the leader of the Snow Clan. That was why the cultivators of the Ice Clan were afraid of them. Don't even think about getting the ice-snow sacred lotus, said the 2 women coldly. Master, this is a desolate place. Even if we kill them, nobody will know. We might as well go all the way and capture them. Then we'll take the ice-snow sacred lotus. Master, you can enjoy it, said an Ice Clan cultivator immediately. The rest of the Ice Tribe cultivators laughed obscenely. The leader of the group was called Bing Xian. He was the grandson of the great elder of the Ice Clan. The leader of the Ice Clan wasn't the leader of the Ice Clan, but the great elder. The leader of the Ice Clan had been a mere figurehead. That was why Bing Xian's position in the Ice Clan was extremely high. Bing Xian smiled evilly and said, "That's a good idea. Since it's that way, let's capture those two women." More than a dozen ice race warriors responded loudly. All of them looked extremely excited. After Bing Xian enjoyed himself, it would be their turn. In any case, this was not the first time they had done something like this. Boom, boom, boom. All kinds of powerful attacks were launched. In an instant, Xue Xian and Xue Fei were unable to resist. The cultivation of these two women was not weak. They were both at 8th sky of ethereal god realm. However, after all, there were only two of them. On Bing Xian's side, there were many experts. There were 4 or 5 people, all of them at the divine flame realm. As for Bing Xian, his cultivation was even more unfathomable. Not only had he reached the half-step true god realm, furthermore, he also had precious treasures on him. Even if it was a true god expert, he could also put up a fight. Haha, don't resist anymore. Be obedient and let us capture you. I'll take good care of you later. Bing Xian burst into laughter. The two sisters exchanged a glance, then each took out a jade talisman. Xue Xian's jade talisman transformed into a hazy silhouette, but one could still vaguely make out that it was a woman's silhouette. After the hazy silhouette appeared, it swept out a palm and enveloped everyone. Xue Fei's jade talisman transformed into a ball of light that wrapped around Xue Xian and Xue Fei. The two sisters tore apart the sky and disappeared in the blink of an eye. "Where do you think you're going?" shouted Bing Xian furiously. He wanted to chase after them, but the hazy silhouette blocked his path. It was probably a life-saving measure for Xue Xian and Xue Fei. After an intense battle, 3 people from the Ice Clan were killed. The hazy silhouette was destroyed by Bing Xian and the others together. Then, it disappeared. "Prince, 3 of our brothers are dead," said an Ice Clan cultivator with an ugly expression. Damn it, shouted Bing Xian. "Chase after them. Don't let them escape." Whoosh, the group of people quickly left. Lin Feng walked out of his hiding place. He looked normal. He had seen too many battles like this. Therefore, he was not surprised. The enmity between the Ice Clan and the Snow Clan had nothing to do with him. Therefore, Lin Feng did not pay attention to these things. He continued walking towards the periphery of the ice field. That night, Lin Feng was resting in an ice cave under an ice mountain. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 people quickly entered the cave. They entered the ice cave and hurriedly used a few seals to seal it. They were Xue Xian and Xue Fei. After sealing the ice cave, the 2 sisters heaved a sigh of relief. However, at that moment, they suddenly felt that something was wrong. They felt as if someone was looking at them from the depths of the ice cave. The 2 sisters turned around and saw a male cultivator looking at them. "Who are you?" The 2 sisters looked as if they were facing a great enemy. They had not noticed this person when they had come in, which was enough to show how strong this person's cultivation level was. "I'm just a passerby. If you want to rest, just find a place to rest. There's no need to ask," said Lin Feng. The 2 sisters frowned and looked at Lin Feng cautiously. When the 2 sisters saw that Lin Feng wasn't hostile towards them, they felt relieved. The 2 sisters whispered to each other for a long time, but nobody knew what they were talking about. At that moment, Xue Xian said, "Sir, I am Xue Xian, and this is my younger sister, Xue Fei. We are the daughters of the leader of the Snow Clan. We are being chased by a group of evil people from the Ice Clan. If you can escort us back to Snow City, we will definitely thank you." "I'm not interested," said Lin Feng indifferently. Xue Fei looked as if she was about to cry. She said, "You must have heard that the Ice Clan is very cruel. Can you bear to see us fall into their hands? At that time, the 2 of us will live a life worse than death. Please have mercy on us, young master." "What's your fate? Does it have anything to do with me?" said Lin Feng indifferently. Xue Xian and Xue Fei gnashed their teeth angrily. The 2 beautiful women were begging him. That guy was actually indifferent. He really didn't understand. "If you're willing to escort us back, we will give you a precious treasure," said Xue Xian through gritted teeth. "Oh, a precious treasure? What kind of treasure?" asked Lin Feng. "The sacred ice lotus," said Shuexian. Lin Feng's heart shook. Shuexian and Shuefei were being attacked by a group of Ice Clan cultivators. It seemed that those Ice Clan cultivators were trying to steal the sacred ice lotus. Asked Shuexian, "What is the sacred ice lotus? What's its effect?" "No way. You don't even know what the sacred ice lotus is?" shouted the two women in surprise. They looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. They muttered in their hearts. This guy didn't come from some remote village, did he? He had never heard of the sacred ice lotus. Chapter 1673. Is it strange that I don't know about the sacred ice lotus? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. Shuexian and Shuefei howled inwardly. This guy couldn't be a fake expert, could he? We can't be fooled. But then again, he couldn't be a fake expert. This cultivator in front of them, he was indeed very powerful. Perhaps he was cultivating in some remote village, which was why he didn't know much about many things. The two sisters could only use this as an excuse to convince themselves. Shuexian said, "The sacred ice lotus is one of the most precious natural treasures, and it has a shocking use. It can heal Dao injuries." Heal Dao injuries? Lin Feng sucked in a breath of cold air. Then, he became sad again. He thought of Huang Ling. If he had obtained the sacred ice lotus in the past, Huang Ling wouldn't have died. "Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Are you so excited after knowing how precious the sacred ice lotus is?" Shuefei asked. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. "I just thought of an old friend who died because of a Dao injury. It's been so many years, and I still can't forget it. I didn't expect you to be such a loyal person," Shuefei said. "Don't praise me like that. I'll become arrogant." Lin Feng wiped away his tears and grinned. "Shameless." Shuefei stuck out her tongue. Of the two sisters, Shuefei was obviously more lively. Shuexian was calmer. Lin Feng said, "I agree to your request. I can escort you to Snow City. Now, give me the sacred ice lotus." Shuefei said, "Although you've agreed, we still want to see if you're strong enough." Lin Feng nodded. "All right, then attack me with all your strength." Shuefei leapt forward and slapped at Lin Feng. Snowflakes fluttered around Shuefei. A snowflake. It was like an indestructible blade. All of the snowflakes flew towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng reached out with his hand, causing the air to tremble. The snowflakes fluttering in the air were instantly shattered. Lin Feng and Shuefei's palms collided, and Shuefei was forced back. "Not bad. Take another one of my palms." Shuefei was about to attack again. Shuexian pulled Shuefei and said, "Sister, there's no need to fight. He's obviously not using his full strength. You're far from being his match." Shuefei seemed to Shuefei's words. She looked at Lin Feng Shuefei and said, "Shueties, Shuefei's. Shuet-t-t-t-t," thought Lin Feng. Even if he wanted to pay, he should have waited until the escort mission was over. "Aren't you afraid that I'll run away?" Lin Feng took the sacred ice and snow lotus and sealed it. Then he put it away. With the sacred ice lotus in hand, he wouldn't have to worry about Dao injuries in the future. Shuefei said, "Now that you've taken the sacred ice lotus, can you tell us your name? Where are you from? What's your cultivation level?" "My name is Lin Feng. That's all you need to know. Everything else is private," Lin Feng said indifferently. "What's so great about being so mysterious?" Shuefei snorted. Shuexian said, "Lin Gongzi, since you've accepted the mission of escorting us, we should tell you about the situation of the ice race's cultivators." Lin Feng nodded. Shuexian continued, "The leader of the ice race is called Bing Xian. He's the grandson of the ice race's great elder. He's cultivated for 270,000 years, and he's a quasi-true god. He has a powerful treasure, but we don't know what it is. It's said that he can fight against true gods with it. Now, he's called Bingyu, and he's at the first celestial layer of the true god layer. He's one of the ice race's domain chiefs. Bingyu has brought more than 100 people. They're scattered all over the place, looking for us. If they find us, we'll be surrounded. So, we should try our best not to fight with them. If we get surrounded, we'll die." Lin Feng said, "The sacred ice lotus is precious. No wonder they've gathered so many people. Let's rest here for the night and recharge. We'll leave tomorrow. The two sisters nodded. They were extremely tired, so they found a place to rest. The next day, the three of them set off. Lin Feng said, I'm faster, so it'll be faster if I carry you. There'll be some physical contact, so I hope you'll forgive me. The two sisters blushed and nodded. Lin Feng put his arms around the sisters' waists, one on the left and one on the right. Shui Xian and Shui Fei had never had such intimate contact with a man before. Therefore, her face was flushed red. Lin Feng didn't think too much about it. He flew into the sky and quickly flew away. On the way, he saw ice race cultivators in the distance and hid. So, no ice race cultivators could see them. Half a month later, Lin Feng saw a huge mountain range in the distance. Sister, look, it's the Snow Dragon Mountain Range. Shui Fei pointed at the mountain range excitedly. This place was already under the snow race's control. We'll reach Snow City in about 10 days. Shui Xian said happily, ha ha ha, but you won't be able to get back to Snow City. At that moment, loud laughter came from the snowy mountains. 50 to 60 cultivators flew over. Lin Feng had seen one of them before. It was Bing Xian. The other one was probably Bing Yu, whom Shui Xian had mentioned. Obviously, these people were looking for Shui Xian and Shui Fei. They hadn't been able to find them for a long time, so they had set up an ambush. When Shui Xian and Shui Fei saw Bing Xian and Bing Yu, their faces turned pale with fright. They had a lot of people. Bing Yu was also a true immortal. If they were surrounded by such a group of strong cultivators, they would definitely die. Bing Xian looked at Lin Feng coldly and said, I was wondering why we couldn't find these two women after such a long time. So you were the one behind all this, boy. I'll give you a chance to live. Hand over the two women and submit to me. Become my servant, and I'll spare your life. Shui Xian and Shui Fei trembled. They were afraid that Lin Feng would hand them over. Said Lin Feng indifferently, what you just said is enough for you to die 10 times. Now, kneel down, kowtow and apologize, and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, I'll chop off your head, said Lin Feng indifferently. When Lin Feng said that, everyone was stunned. Wasn't he too arrogant? Even Bing Xian's mouth twitched violently. Bing Xian had always been arrogant. But now, he realized that compared to this boy, he wasn't arrogant at all. Chapter 1674. Where did this brat come from? How can he be so arrogant? Little brat, do you want to die? How dare you be so arrogant in front of our young master Xin? Who do you think you are? The ice race cultivators shouted and cursed. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent. In their opinion, Lin Feng was acting so arrogantly, he was just courting death. Shui Xian and Shui Fei smiled bitterly. They didn't expect Lin Feng to be so arrogant. How could he be so arrogant at a time like this? However, the two sisters didn't say anything. If there was no hope for them to escape, they would die. They even made up their minds to kill themselves. They wouldn't let the ice race catch them. If they fell into the hands of the ice race cultivators, their fates would be miserable. The two sisters were very clear about this. Brat, I've seen many arrogant people, but this is the first time I've seen someone as arrogant as you. Arrogance requires capital. If you have capital, you can be arrogant. If you don't, then you're an idiot. I don't think you have the capital to be arrogant. Bing Chong, capture this brat. I want to personally torture him. I want to cut off his flesh and see if he can still be as arrogant as before. Bing Xian waved his hand and ordered. Yes, young master. One of the cultivators answered and stepped forward. He looked coldly at Lin Feng. You're courting death. Suppress him. The cultivator called Bing Chong was at the third sky of the divine fire realm. Naturally, he didn't care about a young cultivator like Lin Feng. Moreover, Bing Chong could vaguely sense Lin Feng's cultivation level. He was only at the void god realm. To Bing Chong, dealing with such a cultivator was a piece of cake. He raised his right hand and cold chi spread out. When this palm came down, even the void was frozen. Ant-like thing. You actually dare to jump around in front of this young master? Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He raised his right hand and a saber light slashed out. Even the void was torn apart. The saber light instantly arrived in front of Chong Bing. Bing Chong turned pale with fright. He had never thought that Lin Feng would have such a powerful move. Chong Bing's palm, which had been aimed at Lin Feng, quickly swatted at the saber light that was coming at him. Puff. But it was useless. The saber light instantly tore Chong Bing apart, splitting him in half. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Chong Bing was an expert at the 3rd level of the Godfire realm. He was actually killed in a single move. That brat's cultivation was so powerful. Shui Xian and Shui Fei, on the other hand, opened their pink lips slightly. They were both surprised and happy in their hearts. They originally thought that Lin Feng's cultivation was formidable, roughly equivalent to the 1st or 2nd firmament of the Divine Fire realm. But now they knew that the two sisters had underestimated Lin Feng's strength. Instantly killing a 3rd-level Divine Flame realm expert with a single move, this was just too powerful. The two sisters saw hope of escaping with their lives. At that moment, the two sisters were looking at Lin Feng in a strange way. A young, handsome, and powerful cultivator like Lin Feng would be the center of attention wherever he went. He was also the type of person who could easily attract the hearts of women. Brat, how dare you kill a member of the Ice Clan? You're courting death. No one in this world can save you. When Bing Xian saw that Chong Bing had been killed, his eyes flashed with killing intent. He walked step by step towards Lin Feng. Clearly, he wanted to deal with Lin Feng personally. Bing Yu said, "Young Master Xian, this brat is a bit strange. This brat is a bit strange. Let me kill him." Bing Xian's face sank slightly. He said, "Does Commander Yu think that I, Bing Xian, am no match for him?" Bing Yu knew Bing Xian's temperament very well. Bing Xian had always thought highly of himself. Of course, his cultivation level was also very high. If Bing Xian used that supreme treasure of his, it would take a lot of effort to defeat him. Perhaps it was because he was too strong that Bing Xian's arrogance was nurtured. Because of that, Bing Xian never listened to anyone's advice. Bing Yu hurriedly said, "That's not what I meant. I just think that there's no need to trouble you to deal with such a small fry." Bing Xian said, "Today, I want to stretch my muscles a little. It's been a long time since I've seen such a reckless person." Bing Yu didn't say anything else, even though he instinctively felt that there was something wrong with Lin Feng. However, when Bing Yu thought of Bing Xian's strength, he relaxed. "Brat, I'll let you know what kind of miserable fate awaits you after your stupid actions infuriate me." Bing Xian smiled viciously. As he walked, a powerful icy chi emanated from his body. Ice Emperor's hand. Bing Xian attacked. His right hand was surrounded by endless divine light, dazzling and dazzling. At that moment, Bing Xian seemed to have transformed into the Ice Emperor of the ancient times. The Ice Emperor was a powerful person. He was a brilliant great emperor. He had used the Tao of Ice to become a great emperor. The Ice Emperor's hand was a peerless technique created by the Ice Emperor. It was extremely powerful. Bing Xian seemed to look down on Lin Feng. But in reality, when he attacked, he unleashed a powerful battle strength. He didn't look down on Lin Feng at all. Someone like Bing Xian was also a meticulous person. In words, he could look down on Lin Feng in all kinds of ways. But when he actually attacked, that wasn't the case. Haha, the Ice Emperor's hand is becoming more and more proficient. The group of cultivators from the Ice Clan laughed. Even Bing Yu looked serious. He was obviously shocked by the power of Bing Xian's attack. Shui Xian and Shui Fei, who were next to Lin Feng, paled when they sensed Bing Xian's attack. Even though they had a new understanding of Lin Feng's strength, Bing Xian was too strong. They weren't sure if Lin Feng could block Bing Xian's attack. They didn't have any confidence. It was at this moment. Shui Xian and Shui Fei saw Lin Feng attack. Then, the two sisters saw a step that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. Lin Feng walked towards Bing Xian step by step. Golden light shot up into the sky from his body. Lin Feng raised his right hand. The golden light condensed on his palm. The dazzling light condensed into a terrifying light of judgment. Ruler. Judgment. Lin Feng attacked. The light of judgment seemed to have turned into an eternal power. It slashed towards Bing Xian. Along with the sound of something being torn apart and Bing Xian's miserable screams, Bing Xian's right hand, Lin Feng killed him and threw him into the air. Blood spurted out from his severed arm. Die. Lin Feng looked indifferent. He used the immemorial star-picking technique and grabbed Bing Xian's head. He wanted to take Bing Xian's head. Chapter 1675. Brat, don't you dare. Just as Lin Feng was about to succeed, Bing Yu roared and slapped at Lin Feng. Bing Yu had always thought that Lin Feng was a bit strange. That was why he had never let his guard down. When he saw that Lin Feng had cut off Bing Xian's arm, he had already attacked. Bang! Lin Feng had no choice but to exchange a blow with Bing Yu. Bing Yu was at the True God Realm, although he was only at the first sky of the True God Realm. He was too strong. After exchanging blows, Lin Feng was forced back 3 steps. He grabbed Xue Xian and Xue Fei by their waists and laughed. Bing Xian, I'll spare your dog life today. Next time I see you, I'll take your head. Lin Feng knew that it wasn't a good time to fight the ice race. If he was alone, if they really fought, Lin Feng wasn't afraid. If he couldn't win, he could just run. But he had Xue Xian and Xue Fei with him. There were too many people. If they really fought, they wouldn't be able to take care of Xue Xian and Xue Fei. They would definitely be killed or captured. Lin Feng didn't want to see that happen. Since he had taken their ice snow sacred lotuses, Lin Feng had to fulfill his duty and send them to Snow City. Where are you going? Bing Yu shouted when he saw that Lin Feng was about to leave with Xue Xian and Xue Fei. He condensed an ice spear and threw it at Lin Feng. He wanted to pierce Lin Feng's chest. Lin Feng didn't fight Bing Yu head-on. He used the heaven patching technique to dodge Bing Yu's attack. Then, his body flickered and he teleported away. Chase! Shouted Bing Xian. Bing Yu said, Prince, I'm afraid we won't be able to catch up. The snow race's territory is right in front of us. If we barge in and get seen by the snow race's experts, we'll definitely die. Damn it! Damn it! Could it be that this young master has to endure the enmity of losing an arm? Bing Xian's face twisted as he roared furiously. Said Bing Yu. That little boy isn't from the Xue clan. We can contact the spies in Xue City and have them keep an eye on him. As soon as he leaves Xue City, we'll kill him on the way. Good. You have to find a way to contact the spies we have planted in Snow City. I want that brat dead. I'm going to tear him into pieces. Bing Xian roared with resentment. The 2 sisters were held in Lin Feng's arms, and their beautiful faces were flushed red. Today, Lin Feng's strength had deeply shocked them. Lin Feng landed on a snowy mountain and released the 2 girls. He couldn't help but cough a few times. Are you okay? Xue Xian and Xue Fei looked at Lin Feng worriedly. It's not a big deal. That true immortal's attack just made my qi and blood flow a little slower, said Lin Feng. Then, he used the ancient dragonesque elephant incantation and adjusted his qi. His body recovered. We're in the Xue clan's territory now. The Ice clan won't dare chase after us anymore. We don't need to travel so fast, said Xue Xian. Lin Feng nodded and said, We finally got rid of those people. It seems like we won't be in danger anymore. Luckily, I didn't disappoint you and brought you back safely, said Xue Fei. I hadn't thought that you'd be so strong. Even Bing Xian wasn't a match for you. I really don't know how you practice cultivation. If we have the opportunity, I can teach you alone. Lin Feng glanced at Xue Fei's beautiful face and body. What if something unexpected happened when they were alone? He didn't know what would happen. Hee, I'll remember what you said. Xue Fei smiled. That woman was beautiful. She was extremely beautiful. Now, when she smiled, she was breathtakingly beautiful. See no evil. See no evil. Lin Feng muttered to himself. The 3 of them continued on their journey. 10 days later, a huge ancient city appeared in their line of sight. It looked like a wild beast that lived on the ground. That ancient city was obviously Snow City. Many cultivators flew in from all directions and landed outside the Snow City. After paying a certain amount of entrance fee, they could enter the Snow City. There are only 2 ancient cities in the tundra world. One is Snow City, and the other is Ice City. Most cultivators who come to the tundra world rest in Snow City or Ice City, said Xue Fei. Lin Feng said, It seems like there are many cultivators who come to the tundra world every year to search for treasures, said Xue Xian. There are many natural treasures in the tundra world that can't be found in the outside world. That's why it attracts so many people. It's also rumored that there's an ancient civilization buried under the tundra world. Many people have been searching for the ruins of that ancient civilization for so many years, but they haven't found it yet. Ancient civilization? It's even older than your Snow Clan and Ice Clan? Lin Feng was surprised. Yes, our Snow Clan and Ice Clan only appeared in the Tundra world during the Primordial Era, but it's said that the lost civilization appeared during the Immortal Era, said Xue Fei. Lin Feng rubbed his chin, muttering to himself, a lost civilization, moreover one that existed in the Immortal Ancient Era. It was definitely no small matter. One had to know. Everything before the Primordial Era had been destroyed, including treasures, orthodoxies, and so on. Even the history before the Primordial Era had been drowned out by the river of time. Even the Nine States world. There were many things that happened before the Primordial Era that were unclear. Once a civilization from before the Primordial Era appeared, it would definitely shake the world. After entering Snow City, Xue Xian and Xue Fei invited Lin Feng to visit the Snow Clan as a guest, but Lin Feng politely declined. They parted at the city gate. When they saw Lin Feng leave, the sisters couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. They had never felt this way before. The two sisters walked towards the direction of the clan's land. On the way, they met a group of strong cultivators. The leader of the group was a middle-aged man called Xuezong. He was a military officer of the Snow Clan. When he saw Xue Xian and Xue Fei, he hastily said, "Ladies, you're finally back. The Patriarch is very angry that you sneaked out. He sent us to look for you. Since you're back, hurry up and go see the Patriarch. Apologize and don't make the Patriarch angry." The sisters stuck out their tongues and bowed to Xuezong. Then, they quickly returned to their clan. When they arrived, they went to see the Patriarch. "Mother," Xue Xian and Xue Fei called out to their mother when they arrived outside a courtyard. "Humph, you still know how to come back?" Someone grunted angrily in the courtyard. Although that voice carried a trace of anger, it sounded gentle and pleasant to the ears. It was simply enough to melt one's bones. He really didn't know what kind of beautiful woman could have such a pleasant voice. Chapter 1676. Mother, we know we were wrong, but we brought back 3 sacred ice lotuses and came back safe and sound. Mother, please forgive us for our stubbornness. We'll be obedient in the future. Xue Xian and Xue Fei said coquettishly. "Come in, don't just stand outside." The voice came from inside again. Xue Xian and Xue Fei pushed the door open and entered. The courtyard wasn't big, but it was beautifully and elegantly arranged. The two sisters went straight to the main hall. There were 7 women sitting in the main hall. The 7 women in the hall were all as beautiful as fairies. Xue Xian and Xue Fei hurriedly bowed when they saw them. "Aunties, you're all here too." Xue Xian and Fei greet mother and aunties. Xue Xian and Xue Fei bowed to the 7 women in the main hall. "No need for formalities," said the woman sitting at the head of the table. She was tall and had a dignified and elegant temperament. No one dared to blaspheme her beauty. She was the head of the Snow Clan. The Snow Clan was a special clan because of their cultivation techniques. The strongest cultivators in the Snow Clan were usually women. Therefore, the position of head of the Snow Clan had always been held by a woman. The 7 women in the main hall were called Mei Lan Zhu Zhu Hualing Xian. They were 7 sisters, but they weren't sisters by blood. All 7 of them had lost their relatives. They were orphans adopted by the previous head of the clan, just like Xue Xian and Xue Fei. Xue Xian and Xue Fei had also lost their relatives. They had been adopted by the current head of the clan and had grown up. Among the 7 women, the eldest sister was called Xue Zimei. The second sister was called Xue Xilan. The third sister was called Xue Zizhu. The fourth sister was called Xue Ziju. The fifth sister was called Xue Zihua. The sixth sister was called Xue Xiling. The seventh sister was called Xue Zixian. Xue Zihua was the most talented of the 7 sisters, and her cultivation was also the strongest, even though she was only the 5th of the 7 sisters. When the previous head of the clan passed away, the position of head of the clan was passed to Xue Zihua. In the past few years, Xue Zihua had been working hard. The Snow Clan, which had been in decline for a long time, had become stronger day by day. Therefore, Everyone trusted Xue Zihua. Mother, this is the ice-snow sacred lotus we obtained. Xue Xian and Xue Fei took out the 3 ice-snow sacred lotuses and handed them to Xue Zihua. After seeing the ice-snow sacred lotus, the 7 women's eyes twitched violently. The ice-snow sacred lotus was extremely precious. It was a priceless treasure. Such a precious treasure. My clan can only keep one of them. The rest will be taken to the 9 States Alliance, and they'll help us auction it off. Keeping this thing is a disaster. Xue Zixin said. The others nodded. They knew how precious the ice-snow sacred lotus was. The Snow Clan was not as prosperous as it used to be. They could not protect such a treasure. Even if only 1 stalk was left behind, it had to be left behind secretly. The news could not be leaked. How did you obtain this sacred ice lotus? Xue Zimei asked curiously. Xue Fei said, a while ago, we were in the market and happened to obtain an incomplete treasure map. After studying it for a long time, we discovered that the treasure map seemed to be somewhat similar to the world of the ice plains. We deduced a few places and went to look for it. In one of those places, we actually found the ice-snow sacred lotus. Xue's Island said, the sacred ice lotus is a type of twin lotus. Since you have 3 of them, there should be a 4th one. Where is the other sacred ice lotus? Xue Xian said, Second Aunt, after we obtained the ice-snow sacred lotus, Bing Xian and the others from the Ice Clan discovered us. They chased us all the way until we met a powerful cultivator. We gave him one of the ice-snow sacred lotuses, and he escorted us back. Xue Fei said excitedly, that guy was really powerful. He cut off that bastard Bing Xian's arm in one move. If Bing Yu hadn't been there, Bing Xian would have died. Xue Zihua looked at the 2 sisters, who were beaming with joy. Mei, Lan, Zhu, Ju, Hua, and Fairy Hua were surprised. They had not expected so many things to happen. Xue Zihua said, that guy didn't kill you for the treasure. Instead, he took one of the ice-snow sacred lotuses. He escorted you back, and his character isn't bad. Could he be a senior? Xue Xian and Xue Fei had strange expressions on their faces. Xue Zizhu said, what's with your expressions? Could it be that what your mother said was wrong? Xue Xian smiled bitterly. That guy is powerful, but he's very young. Based on his age, he hasn't even been cultivating for 30 years. What? He's that monstrous? Mei, Lan, Zhu, Ju, and Fairy Hua were very knowledgeable. But now, they were shocked beyond words. Such a young cultivator. He had cut off Bing Xian's arm in one move. His cultivation was too heaven-defying, wasn't it? Xue Zihua said, did you invite him to the clan as a guest? Xue Fei snorted and said, I did, but that guy refused. All right, you 2 must be tired. Go and rest. Xue Zihua said, yes, mother. We'll take our leave. Xue Xian and Xue Fei bowed and left the room. Who the hell is this guy? We'd better go and meet him. Xue Zihua said, he's so strong at such a young age. What a monster. If we can rope him in, he'll be a great help to our clan, Xue's Island said. Yes, Xue Zihua nodded. She then said, find someone to find out where he lives, then we'll think about it. Snow City was bustling with activity. Although it was snowing heavily outside, the Snow City had an energy shield. When the snow fell, it was blocked by the energy shield. The temperature in Snow City was relatively warm, probably because of the formation. Sir, we have a frost gravity room. It's a great place for cultivation. Sir, do you want to come in and cultivate for a while? Lin Feng was passing by on a street when a young man stopped him. The young man nodded and bowed. Frost gravity room? What's that? Lin Feng muttered. Gravity room. Of course, he knew about it. Furthermore, he had trained in the gravity room before. But frost gravity room. It was Lin Feng's first time hearing about it. The servant saw that Lin Feng seemed to be interested in the frost gravity room and said excitedly, Sir, the frost gravity room is made from a meteorite with the help of the frost gravity room. It's different from normal gravity rooms. Normal gravity rooms are controlled by a formation, so they can reach up to 10,000 times the normal gravity. Our frost gravity room uses a meteorite to control the gravity, and it can reach up to 1,000,000 times the normal gravity. Furthermore, the frost gravity room contains frost energy, which can stimulate the body's potential. Chapter 1677. Lin Feng's current physical body was equivalent to the peak of the true God realm. If he wanted to increase his physical body's strength, breaking through to the heavenly God realm was naturally not an easy task. Even Lin Feng, who cultivated the Archean dragonesque elephant art, was not that easy to break through. The heavenly God realm was a threshold for the immortal realm. Even in the Archean era, the heavenly God realm was a tyrant, and it was extremely difficult to break through. If a true God realm cultivator wanted to break through to the heavenly God realm, there was only one word to describe it, and this word, it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Anyone who could break through to the heavenly God realm was definitely a talented person. So, no matter if it was the physical body, the soul, or the realm, it was extremely difficult to break through to the heavenly God realm. This might be the reason why Lin Feng was still unable to break through. And now, Lin Feng felt that this kind of ice gravity room might be able to help him break through. "Take me to have a look," Lin Feng said. The servant was overjoyed when he heard this. Every time he recruited a customer, he would get a commission. Lin Feng met the shopkeeper and carefully understood the situation of the ice gravity room. There were ordinary ice gravity rooms. Basically, the gravity was between 1,000 to 10,000 times. The temperature was between negative 500 degrees Celsius and negative 1,500 degrees Celsius. This kind of room was suitable for cultivators below the immortal realm. Further up, there were ice gravity rooms from 10,000 to 100,000 times. The temperature was between minus 1,500 and minus 2,000 degrees. There were ice gravity rooms from 100,000 to 200,000 times. The temperature was between minus 2,000 and minus 2,500 degrees. The highest temperature was 900,000 to 1,000,000 times, and the temperature was minus 6,000 to minus 6,500 degrees Celsius in the ice gravity room. Every ice gravity room was equipped with a token. These tokens were densely covered with array patterns. One could use the token to adjust the gravity and temperature of each ice gravity room. However, the limit of the adjustment was the upper and lower limit of the ice gravity room. For example, the ice gravity rooms from 10,000 to 100,000 times. The temperature was between minus 1,500 and minus 2,000 degrees. The gravity could be adjusted to at least 10,000 times. The highest could be adjusted to 100,000 times. The lowest could be adjusted to minus 2,000 degrees. The highest could be adjusted to minus 1,500 degrees. After understanding the details of the frost gravity room, Lin Feng paid a certain amount of origin crystals, and a maidservant led Lin Feng to the frost gravity room. The first ice gravity room he entered was from 300,000 to 400,000 times, with temperatures ranging from minus 3,000 to minus 3,500 degrees Celsius. Upon entering, Lin Feng was shivering from the cold. He felt as if all the blood in his body was about to freeze. At the same time, a powerful pressure bore down on Zhang Xian, as if an ancient mountain was pressing down on him. If someone with a weaker cultivation were to enter, they would immediately freeze to death. Even if they didn't freeze to death, they would be crushed to death by the powerful pressure of the gravity machine. Lin Feng, on the other hand, was overjoyed. The harsher the environment, the more significant the increase in cultivation. He saw that there were stone lions of different weights in the frost gravity room, so he went in front of a stone lion and grabbed it. With a shout, he carried the stone lion on his shoulder. One must know that the gravity of the gravity machine Lin Feng was currently in had been adjusted to 400,000 times the normal gravity. Being able to stand in the frost gravity machine unscathed under such terrifying gravity was already extremely difficult, let alone carrying a stone lion. It was as if he was carrying a dozen ancient mountains. Pooh! Lin Feng's muscles ruptured, and blood immediately flowed out. Ha! Lin Feng roared and frog jumped while carrying the stone lion. Frog jumping was a kind of basic training. It could train the strength of the human body's limbs and bones. Lin Feng started cultivating when he was 6 years old. At first, he learned the horse stance. Later, he learned boxing, then wooden stakes. When he was 8 years old, he began frog jumping while carrying the stone lion. Therefore, he was very familiar with the movements. However, the gravity of the gravity machine was too strong, so every movement would cause great damage to his body. However, Lin Feng's body was originally tyrannical, so this kind of injury was not a big deal to him. Under the double devastation of the frost chi and gravity, Lin Feng's body was tortured beyond recognition, but his body's potential was constantly stimulated, and the immortal divine blood in his body played an important role at this time. It constantly repaired Lin Feng's body. In this process of destruction and continuous repair, Lin Feng's body became stronger and stronger. However, it was clearly not that easy to raise his physical body to the level of a celestial god. He needed to persevere and work hard. For the next period of time, Lin Feng kept increasing the difficulty for himself. 10 days later, he had already entered the ice gravity room, which was 800,000 times to 900,000 times, and minus 5,500 to minus 6,000 degrees Celsius. The current Lin Feng was already covered in blood. He cultivated day and night, never stopped. Lin Feng planned to break through to the heavenly god realm in one go. Boom! He cultivated bitterly for 3 days. Lin Feng's body emitted waves of astonishing fluctuations. This was his body resonating with heaven and earth. This was also a sign that his body was about to break through to the heavenly god realm. Lin Feng hurriedly sat down cross-legged. His heavenly fire began to circulate. The archaic dragon-esque elephant art began to circulate. Now, Lin Feng wanted to use his heavenly fire and the archaic dragon-esque elephant art to temper his body. This tempering would determine whether or not Lin Feng's body could break through to the heavenly god realm. While Lin Feng was making his final breakthrough, Shuezime, Shuezizhu, and Shuezishin arrived at the frost gravity machine. "My lords, what brings you here?" The shopkeeper hurriedly bowed. Shuezime and the others obviously recognized the shopkeeper. They were all from the Snow Clan. Shuezime said, "We're looking for someone, a young human cultivator." "I know who you're looking for, my lord," the shopkeeper hurriedly said. Shuezime was surprised. "I haven't even told you what he looks like, and you already know who we're looking for? There are more than 1,000 cultivators here, but there's probably only one person who could make you come here personally. That person has been cultivating in the frigid gravity room for 13 days. Now, he's been cultivating in the frigid gravity room for 3 days. His physical body is terrifying. That's the frigid gravity room for celestial gods to temper their physical bodies." Shuezime, Shuezizhu, and Shuezishian's red lips parted in shock. Was this guy really that monstrous? The 3 women were becoming more and more interested in Lin Feng. They couldn't wait to see what kind of person Lin Feng was. Chapter 1678. Shuezime, Shuezizhu, and Shuezishian followed the shopkeeper to Lin Feng's room. "My lords, it's inside. Do you want me to go and call the young master out?" The shopkeeper asked. "No need. Give us the medallion and you can leave." Shuezime said.
"Yes."
The shopkeeper gave the medallion to Shuezime and left. Every frost gravity training room was equipped with 2 tokens. This was so that if anything happened, they could go in and save someone. Shuezime opened the door of the frost gravity room and entered. The 3 women immediately felt a terrifying pressure. They had no choice but to use their mana to resist. The temperature of negative 6,000 degrees Celsius didn't affect them at all. The snow race didn't fear the cold. After the 3 women entered the frost gravity room, they saw a man covered in blood sitting cross-legged. That young man was covered with blood. It was obviously Lin Feng. Lin Feng had retracted his skyfire, and the archaic dragon-esque elephant art had stopped circulating. This was because his physical body had already begun to transform. Is it him? The 3 women exchanged glances. Why isn't he moving? There aren't any energy fluctuations. It doesn't seem like he's cultivating. Shuezishian said doubtfully. "I don't know what he's doing. I'll go test him." Shuezime said, "Big sister, I think we should wait. If we disturb him, we might offend him." Shuezizhu said. Shuezime said, "Don't worry. I know what I'm doing." Shuezime walked towards Lin Feng. Just as she was about to reach Lin Feng, suddenly, a golden dragon formed from flames rushed out of Lin Feng's body and pounced on Shuezime. "Skyfire!" Shuezime cried out in fear. Shuezizhu and Shuezishian's expressions changed. Skyfire was the bane of the snow race and the ice race. So, When she saw the golden dragon, Shuezime felt that her spiritual energy couldn't circulate. She felt an unprecedented sense of danger. However, Shuezime's cultivation was very strong. She sent out 3 palm strikes towards the golden dragon. Bang, bang, bang. 3 muffled sounds of collisions were heard in succession. The golden dragon was pushed back by Shuezime, who quickly retreated. Big sister, behind you. At that moment, Shuezime suddenly heard Shueziju and Shuezishian's anxious voices. She didn't even have time to react. In the next moment, she felt a pair of large hands wrap around her waist. Woman, you should die. Shuezime heard a cold voice in her ear. Only then did she realize the man who had been sitting had disappeared. Was gone clearly. The man who had restrained him was the man from before. Shuezime could feel the heat radiating from the man behind her. Feeling the warmth of the man's large hands, her face flushed red. She was angry, embarrassed, and anxious. She screamed, "Do you know who I am? How dare you attack me in Snow City? Are you tired of living? Oh, you're a prisoner, and you dare threaten me? Do you really think I have a good temper?" Lin Feng's voice was cold. "Lin Gongzi, we mean you no harm. We're here to thank you for escorting Shui Xian and Shui Fei back," Shueziju hurriedly said. Shuezishin added, "Yes, Lin Gongzi, we're here to thank you, but our big sister likes to joke around. She doesn't mean any harm, so please let her go." Lin Feng glanced at Shueziju and Shuezishin. They looked to be in their 30s. Shueziju was ethereal. Shuezishin was otherworldly. They were 2 different types of beauties. "I'll let you go today because of your sisters. Next time, think before you do anything. Don't disturb others when they're cultivating. It's fine if you have big breasts but no brains, but it's normal if you have small breasts." Lin Feng pushed Shuezime 4 or 5 meters away. Shuezime looked like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She looked at Lin Feng furiously and said, "Are you blind, you dog? Who are you calling small?" Lin Feng said indifferently, "You know who's small. Do you need me to point it out?" Shuezime was so angry that she wanted to slap Lin Feng to death. Fortunately, Shueziju and Shuezishin held her back. Lin Feng looked at the 3 girls and said, "You don't need to thank me. I only helped them because Shui Xian and Shui Fei paid me. You don't need to thank me." Shuezishin said, "It's like this. We want to be friends with you. Would the Snow Clan have the honor?" "Friends? Friends with the Snow Clan? Or friends with you?" Lin Feng said with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. "Shameless bastard." Shuezime glanced at Lin Feng angrily. "How am I shameless? As the saying goes, even heroes fall for the charms of beautiful women. Is there anything wrong with me admiring this fairy?" Lin Feng pursed his lips. "Humph." Shuezime groaned coldly. She couldn't help but glare at Lin Feng in a cruel way. In fact, Shuezime was also very charming. Moreover, her temperament was seductive. She was very seductive. A woman like this was more attractive to men. However, because of what had happened before, Lin Feng didn't have a good impression of Shuezime. This woman had disturbed him while he was cultivating. Lin Feng didn't believe that it was an accident. She was most likely scheming something. She was just a woman, so Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with her. Shuezishin smiled and said, "The Snow Clan wants to be friends with you, and I want to be friends with you as well." Lin Feng laughed and said, "Forget about being friends. I'm just a passing traveler, and I'm about to leave Tundra. It's better to have fewer ties." Shuezishin sighed and said, "It looks like I'm not that lucky." Shuezishin didn't mention the Snow Clan, and she only mentioned herself, looking very pitiful. However, Lin Feng wasn't moved. It was just as he had said. He was about to leave Tundra, and he planned to find his father's old friend, Dugiya, to ask about his parents. He wasn't in the mood to pay attention to these Snow Clan women. One who was unaccountably solicitous was hiding evil intentions. Shueziju said, "We have a favor to ask of Lin Gongzi. Would you agree?" Lin Feng said, "If you want me to do something, you have to pay me." "What does Lin Gongzi want? If the Snow Clan can afford it, we won't refuse." Shueziju said. Lin Feng glanced at Shueziju and thought, "I want you to accompany me for 3 days. Would you agree?" Of course, he wouldn't say that out loud. He asked, What treasures does the Snow Clan have? We have an immortal stone passed down from the immortal era. It contains an ancient and mysterious Tao, and you can study it. What do you think? Shueziju said. Chapter 1679. Lin Feng was naturally very interested in the mysterious immortal stone that had been passed down since the immortal era. Of course, Lin Feng also needed to know what the Snow Clan wanted from him. If he could do it, he would agree. If he couldn't, he wouldn't agree. Lin Feng said, "Tell me, what is it?" Shueziju said, "It's to strengthen a seal. That's not a difficult task. You can leave for now. I'm going to wash myself and change into a clean set of clothes. Of course, if you want to admire my impressive figure, I don't mind if you stay here and watch." Lin Feng said indifferently, "How shameless." Shuezime couldn't help but snort coldly. Shueziju and Shuezishin blushed and hurried out. Shuezime followed behind them. "This person is really free and easy," Shueziju said. "Yes, he really does whatever he wants. He doesn't have any scruples," Shuezishin said. Shuezime pursed her lips and said, "I think he's just a stinky hooligan." Shueziju and Shuezishin knew that it was because Lin Feng had captured her. Their big sister was prejudiced against Lin Feng, so they didn't say much. Lin Feng took out a cleansing talisman and cleaned himself. He changed into a clean set of clothes and walked out. When they saw the new Lin Feng, their eyes lit up. Lin Feng was handsome and confident, and he had a calm temperament, as if he was in control of everything. Shuezime, Shueziju, and Shuezishin had seen many handsome men, but this was the first time they had seen a man with Lin Feng's temperament. Thus, the three women couldn't help but marvel at Lin Feng's extraordinary temperament. "I haven't asked for your names yet," Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. Shueziju introduced herself. "This is my eldest sister, Shuezime, and my seventh sister, Shuezishin. My name is Shueziju, and I'm ranked third among the seven sisters." Lin Feng nodded. He didn't introduce himself because it was obvious that the three women already knew Shuexian. How would Shuefei know his name? "Please lead the way." Lin Feng cupped his fists. "Lin Gongzi, please come with us," Shueziju said. The three women were walking at the front, and Lin Feng was following behind them. These three women's swaying bodies were truly too beautiful to behold. He followed the three women back to the land of the Snow Clan. The Snow Clan was located in the depths of Snow City. There were about 200,000 members of the Snow Clan and about 5,000 core members. After entering the territory of the Snow Clan, Lin Feng noticed that there were many beautiful women of the Snow Clan. These girls of the Snow Clan were all beautiful. Perhaps it had something to do with their race. The Snow Clan was rich in beauties. "Lin Feng," a surprised voice could be heard. Shuexian and Shuefei ran over. They were very happy to see Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded at them. After chatting for a while, he left with Shuezime, Shueziju, and Shuezishin. They were going to take Lin Feng to see Shuezihua. Shuezihua was the leader of the Snow Clan, so it was only natural that Lin Feng wanted to see her. The Snow Clan rarely had guests, so when they saw Lin Feng, many girls surrounded Shuexian and Shuefei. "Who is that young master? Why are the three of you leading the way?" Many girls from the Snow Clan asked in confusion. Shuexian said, "He's the Lin Gongzi we were talking about, the one who cut off Bing Xian's arm in one move." He's that Lin Gongzi? I didn't think he'd be so young. He's so handsome." The girls of the Snow Clan started to discuss excitedly. During this time, they had heard about how powerful the cultivator who had escorted Shuexian and Shuefei back was. Now, they were seeing it with their own eyes. When they discovered that he was so handsome, it would naturally arouse the interest of these young girls. Lin Feng met with Shuezihua and the others to discuss the matter of the seal. Lin Feng said, "If I may ask, what is the thing we're going to seal this time?" Shuezihua said, "I wouldn't dare hide it from you, young master. We're going to seal a devil." "A devil? What devil?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "It's a devil pagoda. More accurately, it's a broken one," Shuezihua said. Lin Feng was puzzled. "A broken devil pagoda? Why does it need to be sealed?" Shuezihua smiled bitterly. "This devil pagoda is very strange. The weapon spirit is still alive, and it's very powerful and very evil. Once it comes out, it'll cause great chaos. Since the primordial era, the Snow Clan has been responsible for sealing this devil pagoda. Now that the seal has loosened, and we heard from Xue Xian and Xue Fei that Lin Gongzi is very proficient in formations, we invited Lin Gongzi to help us seal the pagoda. Lin Feng had given Xue Xian and Xue Fei some pointers on how to cultivate formations on the way back to Snow Castle. Thus, the two girls knew how proficient Lin Feng was in formations. Lin Feng nodded. All right. When will we go and reinforce the seal? Xue Zihua said. We're still preparing some of the materials for the formation. We'll be able to reinforce the seal in about 3 days. During this time, you can rest in the clan. Lin Feng didn't have any objections to this. After chatting for a while, Xue Zixian brought Lin Feng to a courtyard to rest. Xue Zixian arranged for Lin Feng to stay in Inga's courtyard. There were many snow orioles here. The snow orioles' voices were very pleasant to the ears. It was like a beautiful woman singing. That was how Inga's courtyard got its name. After Lin Feng settled down, Xue Xian and Xue Fei went to see Lin Feng. If there's anything you need, you have to tell us, Xue Xian said. Xue Fei took out a plate of fruit and placed it on the table. This is snow fruit. There are only 3 of these left, and they're a specialty of the Snow Clan. They're very precious. Try them. Thank you, young ladies, said Lin Feng while bowing hand over fist. Then, he tasted the snow fruit. It tasted sweet and delicious. It tastes good, Lin Feng praised. Seeing that Lin Feng liked it, Xue Xian and Xue Fei were very happy. After dinner, Lin Feng returned to his residence. In the dead of night, Xue Zimei went to Lin Feng's residence. Lin Feng was very surprised. He didn't know why this woman had come to his residence in the middle of the night. Could it be that you want to talk about life with me in the middle of the night? Lin Feng looked at Xue Zimei with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Xue Zimei said coldly, I'd rather talk about life with a pig than talk about life with you. You've got really strong tastes. Lin Feng took 3 steps back and looked at Xue Zimei with disdain. Xue Zimei had only said it casually to make fun of Lin Feng, but when she saw Lin Feng's expression, she was furious. She sneered and said, Today, I was caught by you because I was careless. Let's fight again. I'll definitely defeat you. You want to fight me? You want to fight me? I don't have time to fight with you. Lin Feng pursed his lips. If I lose, you can ask for anything you want. Xue Zimei groaned. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at Xue Zimei's hot body. Are you serious? Any condition? Chapter 1680. After seeing Lin Feng's evil eyes, Xue Zimei felt a little proud. Didn't this bastard say that her body wasn't good enough? Look at him now. Obviously, he was lying. Bastard, watch how I deal with you later. Xue Zimei sneered and said, Any condition is fine, but let's see if you have the ability. As soon as she finished speaking, Xue Zimei quickly rushed towards Lin Feng. Xue Zimei's body emitted a strong wave of energy. Second firmament true god realm. Lin Feng was shocked. At least you have some eyes. Now I'll activate my own magic power and use it to suppress you. Let's see how you fight against me. Xue Zimei sneered, as if she had already defeated Lin Feng. She used a divine ability that could freeze 10,000 miles. Cold chi filled the air, trying to freeze Lin Feng. A second firmament true god realm cultivator could suppress Lin Feng. But Xue Zimei was from the Snow Clan, and Lin Feng had heavenly fire. Therefore, it would be very difficult for Xue Zimei to suppress Lin Feng in a real fight. Everything in the world had a counter to each other, and this principle was fully demonstrated here. Lin Feng's body burned fiercely. Whoosh! In the next moment, heavenly fire roared out, instantly breaking Xue Purple Plum's icebound 10,000 miles technique. Then the golden dragon flames turned into a golden dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws as it rushed towards Xue Zimei. Xue Zimei snorted. I know you have heavenly fire, but it can't suppress me. Xue Zimei's left hand slapped out 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. One palm after another landed on the golden dragon's body. The golden dragon. It was forced back by Xue Zimei's attacks. Although heavenly fire could suppress Xue Zimei's cultivation level was very high. It wasn't easy to suppress her. Shuezime became more and more pleased with herself. In her opinion, as long as she could block Lin Feng's heavenly fire, then Lin Feng would be nothing to be afraid of. Shuezime's right hand began to condense a new attack. She circulated her magic power, and a monstrous wave of magic power swept across the sky. This time, she used a divine ability called Snowfall. In the void, snow fell. The snowflakes bloomed in an instant. Then, he released an incredible amount of deadly energy which swept towards Lin Feng. It's too early to be proud. Lin Feng's expression indifferent. He waved his hand. A second type of heavenly fires with a wave of his hand. The black flame god incinerating fire transformed into a god of darkness. Wherever it passed, all the snowflakes were incinerated. Then, the god of darkness formed by the black flame god fire rushed towards Shuezime. A second type's heavenly fire. You have a second heavenly fire. How? Shuezime screamed in disbelief. The heavenly fire since the beginning of time. There had only been 72 types of heavenly fire, and with the passage of time, many of them had disappeared from the world. Only a few types of heavenly fire could be passed down. Absorbing one kind of celestial fire was already an incredible opportunity. Surprisingly, Lin Feng could control 2 kinds of celestial fire. That was incredible. Lin Feng thought to himself, "You're already so shocked by just 2 types of heavenly fire? What kind of expression would you have if you knew that I had 3 types of heavenly fire?" Now that the god of darkness had joined the battle, Shuezime was immediately suppressed. Shuezime was strong, but she was restrained by the heavenly fire. Being able to use 60 to 70% of her cultivation was already not bad. Especially now that Lin Feng had 2 types of heavenly fire, Shuezime was having a hard time dealing with 2 types of heavenly fire. It was impossible for her to continue attacking Lin Feng. Shuezime's expression was ugly. She knew she couldn't continue like this, or she would definitely lose. Therefore, she decided to use the Snow Clan's secret technique. It was called Snow World, and it could create a world of snow to temporarily seal Lin Feng's 2 types of heavenly fire. Then, while the heavenly fire was sealed, she would use all her strength to defeat the bastard. Shuezime had already planned out her plan, but Lin Feng didn't give her the chance. Just as Shuezime was about to use the technique, she suddenly realized that a pair of strong hands had wrapped around her waist from behind. It was just like in the frost gravity chamber. "Woman, you've lost again. Tell me, how should I punish you?" Shuezime heard the voice in her ear. You. She couldn't speak coherently. Shuezime didn't expect to lose again. Moreover, he had been defeated so quickly. Before coming here, she didn't even think about losing. But now that she had lost, she was in Lin Feng's hands. Shuezime panicked. She had said that if she lost, she would agree to any of Lin Feng's conditions. Now she regretted it. She was afraid that Lin Feng would ask for too much. "Let go of me." Shuezime wanted to break free from Lin Feng, but she realized that Lin Feng's hands were too strong. She couldn't break free. Shuezime couldn't do anything but panic. "If you agree to a bet, you must accept your loss. Don't tell me you want to deny it," said Lin Feng with a half-smile. His hot breath tickled Shuezime's ears, causing her face to blush. She could feel the warmth of Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's masculine chi was so close to her that she could even feel Lin Feng's heartbeat. Shuezime was extremely nervous. She had never been in contact with a man before. The only 2 times she had been in contact with a man were with Lin Feng. The first time was in the ice gravity room, and the second time was here. Shuezime clenched her teeth. "I'm not a shameless person." "Fine, tell me. What do you want? I won't refuse you." When Lin Feng saw Shuezime's valiant expression, he guessed that she probably didn't want him to ask her to go to Mount Wu together. Said Lin Feng, smiling. "I want you," said Lin Feng. "Ah, pervert," screamed Shuezime. She wailed in her heart. Was she going to lose her virginity this time? Shuezime was nervous, afraid, and worried. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. "I want you to be my maid for 3 days. You'll serve me tea and massage my shoulders. What are you thinking?" Shuezime was stunned. Her face turned so red that it looked like blood was going to drip out. She really was thinking the wrong way. But at this time, anyone would think the wrong way. Lin Feng let go of Shuezime and smiled. Stay here tonight. If I need anything at night, I'll let you know. Humph. Shuezime snorted, but didn't refute. She waved her right hand, and a 3-meter-tall immortal stone flew out. Lin Feng's eyelids twitched when he saw it. Chapter 1681. A Celestial Stone? Lin Feng looked at Shuezime and asked, That's right. This is the immortal stone passed down from the immortal ancient era. Shuezime said. Lin Feng said, So you're here to give me a celestial stone, but you've gotten yourself involved? Bastard, you're still talking? Shuezime glared at Lin Feng. Now that she had become Lin Feng's servant, if news of this spread, Shuezime wouldn't know what to do anymore. Lin Feng grabbed Shuezime's hand and slapped her 3 times. Slap, slap, slap. Ah, you're shameless. Shuezime covered where she'd been slapped, blushing as she glared at Lin Feng. However, there was a hint of mist in her eyes. Shuezime was both angry and embarrassed. A maidservant should act like a maidservant. Don't make a fuss in front of your master. If you dare to be so impolite again, I'll upgrade you from a maidservant who serves tea to a maidservant who warms the bed, Lin Feng said with a smile. Although she hated being called a servant, Shuezime didn't dare act rashly in front of Lin Feng. What if Lin Feng really made her a bed-warming servant? Lin Feng looked at the celestial stone and asked, Did you notice anything special about that celestial stone? Shuezime smiled and said, Of course I did. However, I can't tell you clearly. Whether or not you can comprehend its secrets will depend on your luck. Lin Feng nodded and moved the celestial stone back to his room. Bang! Then, Lin Feng closed the door and cast a deployment spell so Shuezime wouldn't disturb him. Shuezime shouted angrily, Bastard! This is my house. You're guarding against me like I'm a thief. Just you wait. I'm not done with you. Shuezime found a place to rest after being angry for a while. Lying on the bed next to Lin Feng's figure lingered in her mind. All the anger she had accumulated over the years seemed to be less than the anger she felt today. Thinking of Lin Feng, Shuezime felt like gnashing her teeth. But in the end, she seemed to have thought of something and smiled. Shuezime, who was already very seductive, was so beautiful when she smiled. This woman's entire body was filled with extreme temptation. Lin Feng naturally didn't care about what Shuezime was thinking at this moment. He was carefully examining this immortal stone. This immortal stone was truly extraordinary. Lin Feng could sense the mysterious power contained within this immortal stone. This mysterious energy flowed within the immortal stone. He reached out and touched the immortal stone. He could vaguely feel the aura of life. Immortal stones give birth to life? Lin Feng mumbled to himself. Then, he opened his heavenly demon snake eye, wanting to see if the immortal stone was really giving birth to life. If that was the case, this immortal stone was too extraordinary. Heavenly demon snake eye. It could see through the origin of all things. Vaguely, Lin Feng saw a ball of immortal qi within the immortal stone. There seemed to be something within the immortal qi, but it stopped him from looking. Lin Feng channeled his magic power into the heavenly demon snake eye. The heavenly demon snake eye's ability to see through the origin of all things was fully activated. Gradually, he could vaguely see the existence within the immortal qi. It was curled up, like a fetus. When Lin Feng wanted to take a closer look, he suddenly felt a cold killing intent emanating from the immortal stone. Not good. Lin Feng was shocked. His hair stood on end. He quickly retracted his gaze and activated the Death God's armor to protect himself. Bang! The next moment, a terrifying force ruthlessly slammed into Lin Feng's body, sending Lin Feng flying. Wah! Lin Feng couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face was as white as paper. The immortal stone was very terrifying. It could defend itself. Lin Feng was spying on the secret of the immortal stone and was counterattacked by the immortal stone. The immortal stone flew up and smashed towards Lin Feng. Damn! The immortal stone is alive. Lin Feng wanted to cry but had no tears. He got up from the ground and hurriedly dodged. The immortal stone's attack didn't hit him. Instead, it smashed a 5 to 6 meter deep hole in the ground. Then, the immortal stone fell silent. Lin Feng sat on the ground and smiled bitterly. This immortal stone was too strange. It was too terrifying. Fortunately, he dodged quickly. Otherwise, if he was hit, he would have been smashed half to death. He operated the immortal divine body to recover from his injuries. Then, he sat cross-legged and sensed the wonders of this immortal stone. 5 hearts towards the sky, heaven and man sensing. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng vaguely heard a voice coming from the immortal stone. Gradually, he seemed to have a special reaction. Lin Feng felt as if he had disappeared from the room, disappeared from the 9 provinces. His body. He appeared in the boundless starry sky. In the dark and cold starry sky world, he sat cross-legged with his 5 hearts towards the sky, sensing the starry sky world. This was a very wonderful state of cultivation. This state of cultivation allowed Lin Feng to enter a mysterious state. But unfortunately, he cultivated for 3 days. He couldn't comprehend anything useful. The immortal stone is very extraordinary. I need some time to comprehend it. Lin Feng touched his chin. He opened the door. He called out, "Servant girl, where are you? Help me tidy up my room." After hearing Lin Feng's voice, Shuezime came out of the living room and looked at Lin Feng fiercely. Obviously, she had a problem with Lin Feng calling her servant girl instead of her name. However, after the lesson last time, Shuezime didn't say anything. Lin Feng hugged Shuezime's waist, then looked at her and said, "What was that look in your eyes just now? You're just a servant girl, yet you dare to look at your master with such unfriendly eyes? Do you still have any manners?" Shuezime blushed and said, "You must have seen wrongly. How could this servant dare to look at you with such unfriendly eyes?" Lin Feng pinched her chin. The more he looked at her face, the prettier it became. Being so close to Lin Feng, Shuezime's breathing became hurried, and her heartbeat sped up. She looked away, not daring to look at Lin Feng. In her panic, she pushed Lin Feng away and entered the room. When she saw the mess in the room, she couldn't help but shout, "Are you tearing down the house? The immortal stone is very strange. It's attacking me," Lin Feng said. "The immortal stone has a spirit. Don't provoke it," Shuezime said. At night, Shuezihua came to Lin Feng's residence. Shuezihua was actually a bit confused about why her elder sister had been staying with Lin Feng for the past few days. Shuezime's reason was that she was worried that Lin Feng would have evil thoughts while meditating on the immortal stone by himself. She was worried that Lin Feng would sneak away with the immortal stone, so she had been keeping an eye on him. Although Shuezihua felt that Shuezime was making a fuss over nothing, she was still her elder sister, so it wasn't convenient for her to say anything. When she saw Shuezime's flushed face, as if she had just been intimate with a man, Shuezihua couldn't help but wonder if something had happened between her elder sister and Lin Feng. Of course, Shuezihua wouldn't say it out loud. She planned to find an opportunity to ask about it in a roundabout way. Shuezihua had come to tell Lin Feng that the materials for the formation were ready, and that they could go tomorrow to reinforce the formation. Lin Feng nodded in agreement. Shuezihua gave Shuezime a look. Shuezime didn't want to continue staying with Lin Feng, lest Shuezihua became suspicious. Thus, she left Lin Feng's residence with Shuezihua. Chapter 1682. When they returned, Shuezihua said, "This Lin Feng is young, talented, and powerful. His future is limitless." "Him? He's just a hooligan," Shuezihua snorted. Shuezihua said without batting an eyelid, "Could it be that something happened between him and Big Sister? Otherwise, why would you call him a hooligan?" Shuezime panicked and said, "What can happen between us?" Shuezihua wasn't stupid, and she could guess that Shuezihua was trying to get information from her. Actually, even though she and Lin Feng had a little bit of intimacy, nothing had happened between them. Therefore, Shuezime wasn't worried at all. She asked, "Could it be that you think something will happen between us?" Shuezihua said, "As the leader of the Snow Clan, I won't be able to find a man in this lifetime, but you're different. A woman should find a man. This Lin Feng is a good man, and he has potential. If he can become a couple with you, he'll be able to help the Snow Clan in the future." Shuezihua's heart skipped a beat, and she thought about what Shuezihua had said. She felt that it made sense. However, Shuezihua naturally didn't want to admit it. That brat seems to be interested in seventh sister. If fifth sister really wants to rope him in, you can talk to seventh sister. I'm tired, so I won't stay here any longer. Xue Zihua got up and left. The next day, Lin Feng met up with Mei, Lan, Zhu, Ju, Hua, and Fairy Hua. They looked like 7 celestial fairies standing together. Each of them was beautiful. They were like fresh flowers competing with each other. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said, "I've kept you waiting. Let's go." The 7 of them looked at Lin Feng at the same time. They were very curious about Lin Feng. He was so young, but he was so powerful. He definitely had an extraordinary background. However, Lin Feng didn't say much about him, so the 7 of them couldn't find out more about him. Although they felt like their hearts were being scratched, they could only suppress their curiosity. If Lin Feng didn't say anything, they naturally wouldn't ask. After all, if they tried to pry into other people's secrets, it would easily make them unhappy. The 7 of them were naturally worried about this. The sealed land is within the Snow Clan's territory. Lin Gongzi, please follow us, said Xue Zihua. Lin Feng nodded and followed the 7. They arrived in the depths of the territory of the Snow Clan, where there was a tunnel leading to the ground. There were 2 elders of the Snow Clan guarding the passage. Seeing Mei Lan Juju and Hualing Xian come, the 2 elders just raised their eyes. Clearly, they had a very high status in the Snow Clan. They Zihua and Hua, they didn't need to. Instead, it was Xue Zihua and the other girls who bowed slightly towards the 2 elders. Xue Zimei said, "We still need to wait for the Grand Elder and the others." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows and said, "The clan leader still needs to wait for the Grand Elder? Your Snow Clan is quite interesting." Xue Zimei smiled bitterly and said, "It's a long story. I can't explain it in a short time." After a short time, a beam of light appeared in the distance. Lin Feng looked over and saw a beautiful woman who looked to be in her 30s flying towards him. That's the Snow Clan's Grand Elder. She's called Xue Qianwu, and she's our godmother's younger sister. She's cultivated for 720,000 years and is at the 5th heavenly layer of the true God realm. She's stronger than any of us. Xue Zimei whispered. True gods had a lifespan of more than 10 million years, so Xue Qianwu was still very young despite having cultivated for 720,000 years. Lin Feng was guessing that the relationship between Xue Qianwu and Meilan Zhu, Juhua, Lingxian, and Xue Qianwu wasn't very harmonious. In reality, Lin Feng's guess was very accurate. The previous clan leader had taken in the 7 sisters and focused on nurturing them. The 7 sisters had displayed shocking talent, and their cultivation had increased very quickly. Later, the previous clan leader had been plotted against and died from serious injuries. Xue Qianwu had thought that she would become the clan leader. After all, she was the previous clan leader's younger sister. But who would have thought that the previous clan leader would appoint Xue Zihua as the new clan leader? This naturally caused Xue Qianwu to be jealous. Xue Qianwu had wanted to overthrow Xue Zihua's position as clan leader, but after Xue Zihua became the clan leader, the Snow Clan began to recover from their decline and their strength increased day by day. They were loved and respected by everyone. Thus, Xue Qianwu's plan was stopped before it could be carried out. Xue Qianwu had never been someone who was content with her lot. She was very ambitious and had been secretly accumulating strength. Perhaps this was the reason why the previous clan leader didn't pass the position to Xue Qianwu. Now, the Snow Clan needed to recuperate and slowly recover. Xue Qianwu's ambition was too great. Once she gained control of the Snow Clan, she would definitely think of ways to quickly expand the Snow Clan's territory. But in reality, the Snow Clan didn't have the ability to expand their territory. Thus, if Xue Qianwu became the clan leader, the Snow Clan would very likely be destroyed by her hands. But Xue Qianwu didn't think so. She wanted to be the patriarch of the Snow Clan even in her dreams. Anyone who tried to stop her from becoming the patriarch of the Snow Clan would be her enemy. Xue Qianwu quickly flew over and landed, looking very arrogant. If others didn't know, they would have thought that Xue Qianwu was the clan leader. Xue Qianwu glanced at Lin Feng and couldn't help but frown. She asked, "Who is this?" Xue Zihua replied, "This is a fellow Taoist we invited. He's proficient in formations. This fellow Taoist will help us strengthen the formation." Xue Qianwu sneered. I only hope that the clan leader clears her eyes and doesn't get tricked by some riffraff. Xue Qianwu was rather impudent, and she didn't seem to care about Xue Zihua at all. Xue Zihua said indifferently, "You don't have to worry about that, Grand Elder. Just take care of your own matters. As for other matters, you don't have the authority to care about them." Xue Qianwu sneered and didn't say anything else. "Elders, please open the passage," Xue Zihua said. The two elders of the Snow Clan opened their eyes, and their hands kept changing spells. Rays of divine light shot into the seal. With a loud rumble, the seal on the passage was opened. "Let's go in," Xue Zihua said. Xue Qianwu was the first to fly in. "This woman is a bit crazy," Lin Feng muttered. "Ignore her. She's a woman who's been driven mad by her desire for power." Xue Zihua pursed her lips, clearly not thinking much of Xue Qianwu. After Xue Qianwu flew in, Xue Zihua and the others followed. Lin Feng and Xue Zihua were the last to enter. The passage was deep and dark, and even after flying for a long time, they still couldn't reach the sealed area. Xue Zihua said, "The place where the Devil Tower is sealed is 1,000 miles underground. There's an Emperor's rune there." Lin Feng was shocked. Was the Devil Tower that terrifying? It actually needed an Emperor's rune to seal it? Chapter 1683. Lin Feng didn't know much about the Demon Tower before. Now that Xue Zimei had told him about it, he realized how extraordinary the Demon Tower was. Lin Feng asked, "What's the origin of this tower?" Xue Zimei replied, "It's said to be a supreme treasure of a demon lord. Who in the world dared to call themselves a demon lord? Even emperors of the demonic Tao. Even existences like the Samsara Demon Emperor and the Netherworld Demon Emperor didn't dare call themselves a demon lord." What was a demon lord? The lord of all demons was a demon lord. It didn't matter if they were sky demons, earth demons, or human demons. Anything related to the demonic Tao. They were all included. This included many demon emperors. In front of a demon lord, they had to bow their heads and worship him. A demon lord had commanded, "In all the worlds, who dared to disobey the three demons of heaven, earth, and human." Therefore, a demon lord represented an extraordinary existence, the lord of all demons. What cultivation level did such an existence have? Lin Feng couldn't guess. Perhaps he had surpassed emperors? More than 2 hours later, the group arrived at the space where the tower had been. One end of the chains was embedded in the rock wall, while the other end was wrapped around a pitch-black demonic tower. Only the bottom 3 floors of the pitch-black demonic pagoda remained. The upper floors of the pagoda were nowhere to be seen. Clouds of demonic chi were emitted from the tower. There was a huge energy shield that enveloped the demonic pagoda. It's this tower. 18 demon sealing chains bind the tower, and 9 emperor runes intertwine to form a sealing barrier that seals the tower. However, these emperor runes will gradually weaken with the passage of time, so every few years, we will strengthen the emperor runes. Xue Zihua pointed at the energy barrier. This was the sealing barrier that Xue Zihua had mentioned, formed by the emperor runes. The emperor runes that controlled the barrier were located at the bottom of the underground world. There were violent fluctuations, and the 9 emperor runes looked like 9 dragons resting on the ground. What a powerful demonic pagoda! It actually needs the demon sealing chain and the emperor's rune to suppress it. It's hard to imagine how terrifying it would be if this demonic pagoda were to break free. Lin Feng was extremely shocked. Xue Zihua said, "There are 9 of us, and each of us is responsible for a part of the emperor's inscriptions. However, using the emperor's inscriptions is extremely taxing on our minds, and we'll feel exhausted very quickly. Once we're exhausted, the demon tower will use a bewitching technique to make us develop inner demons. That's why we need to resist the demon tower's inner demons. If we can't resist the demon tower's inner demons, we'll be controlled by the demon tower, and that'll be terrible. If that happens, the demon tower will destroy our emperor's inscriptions and help it escape. This demonic pagoda is so strange." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. Xue Zihua said, "The demonic pagoda is currently sealed, so the power it can use is limited. Right now, if the 9 of us attack together, the power of the devil pagoda will work together on our bodies. The 9 of us will disperse the power of the Devil Pagoda, so there's no need to worry too much. Lin Feng nodded. Perhaps this was why Meilan Zhuhua and Hualing Xian had asked him for help. Every additional person who came to reinforce the seal would disperse the power of the Devil Pagoda. This way, it would be easier to seal the Devil Pagoda. The 9 of them landed one after another. There were 9 Emperor's inscriptions in total, and each of them was responsible for repairing one Emperor's inscriptions. Shuizihua distributed the materials needed to repair the Emperor's inscriptions to everyone, and they split up to repair the damaged Emperor's inscriptions. This was Lin Feng's first time coming into contact with Emperor's inscriptions. The Snow Clan's Emperor's inscriptions wouldn't attack people like them. It was said that the Emperor's inscriptions had a trace of spirituality, and they could differentiate between who they would attack and who they wouldn't attack. Although this sounded a bit unbelievable, it was true. Lin Feng carefully studied the inscriptions. He discovered that the structure of the inscriptions was incomparably complicated. Each inscription was densely packed together with countless inscriptions. If a cultivator below the God realm saw the Emperor's inscriptions, their soul wouldn't be able to withstand it. Their soul would immediately shatter, and they would die. If a Void God realm cultivator looked at the Emperor's inscriptions, their soul would be greatly damaged. If a Divine Flame realm cultivator looked at the Emperor's inscriptions, they would have a splitting headache. At the very least, a true God realm cultivator would be required to repair the inscriptions. Lin Feng's cultivation hadn't reached the true God realm. However, the Emperor's inscriptions here wouldn't attack or harm him, so he could repair them. Time passed. Under everyone's efforts, the Emperor's inscriptions were gradually being repaired and perfected. Just as everyone was repairing the Emperor's inscriptions, the sealed Devil Pagoda suddenly vibrated with a strange power. Great demonic mirage! Great demonic mirage! Suddenly, a mysterious voice came from the demonic pagoda. It was like a demonic voice, causing people to lose themselves step by step. Lin Feng suddenly realized that he'd disappeared from the underground world. He'd arrived in a pink world. Release yourself to your heart's content. There are 8 delicate beauties here, and they're all yours now, a bewitching voice sounded. Plum blossom, orchid, bamboo, chrysanthemum, painting, spirit fairy, and the other 7 beauties. There was also Shuiqianwu. All of them came over. They surrounded Lin Feng. Each of them was extremely charming, seducing Lin Feng. Any man who saw these 8 passionate beauties would probably be unable to restrain their inner desires. However, Lin Feng's eyes were clear. He sneered and said, "A mere illusion. You want to seduce me? What a joke." A bright light flashed in his eyes, and Buddhist light coiled around his body. In an instant, the 8 beauties, Meilan Zhu, Zhu Hua, Spiritual Fairy Hua, and Shuiqianwu, all disappeared without a trace. The pink world in front of him turned into a world of darkness. This world of darkness was also an illusory space. Your illusory space is useless against me. Trapping me in an illusory space is futile. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Kikik boy. Not bad. You broke the illusory space I created so quickly. Perhaps we can sit down and have a good talk. The Devil Pagoda suddenly appeared in this world of darkness, and a sinister voice sounded from it. Talk about what? What do I have to talk about with you? Lin Feng sneered. Of course, we're talking about cooperation. You're young, but you have great potential. If you let me out, I'll become a great help to you. In the future, you might even become a great emperor. What do you think of this deal? The sinister voice sounded from the Devil Pagoda again. Lin Feng smiled icily. I'm going to become a great emperor. I don't need your help, do I? Besides, who knows what kind of thing you are? If I let you out, I might cause a calamity. Who knows how many people will die? Even I might be tricked by you. When that happens, I'll end up dead. Do you think I'll believe your nonsense? Chapter 1684. As the saying goes, gold and stone can move. After we work together, you will know how sincere I am. The mysterious being said, "Forget it. Even if you have a glib tongue, I have no interest in working with you." Lin Feng sneered. "If you help me, I can pass on the Demon Lord's legacy to you. How about it?" The mysterious existence spoke in a gentle and enticing voice. The Demon Lord's legacy? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Who is this Demon Lord? The mysterious being asked. He is an unparalleled existence. If I tell you, you will be scared to death. Lin Feng became interested and said, Hurry up and tell me. Let's see if you can scare me to death. I can't wait to be scared to death by you. Kid, do you think I'm stupid? If you don't work with me, why would I tell you this? The mysterious being sneered. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, You've said so much. You've painted a big picture for me, but I won't be able to eat it, right? How can I have so much free time to argue with you? Heavenly Demon Snake Eye. Break. Lin Feng shouted. He opened the Heavenly Demon Snake Eye. Heavenly Demon Snake Eye. It could see through the origin of all things in the world. After the Heavenly Demon Snake Eye opened, the illusory space created by the demonic pagoda was instantly broken. Lin Feng returned to the real world. He was still standing in front of the Emperor Rune. Mei Lanzhu, Hualing Xian, and Xue Qianwu had their eyes closed. Obviously, they were still in the illusion. TSK. They are all veterans, but they didn't break the illusion before me. Their standards are too low. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel proud. He ignored the others and squatted down to repair the Emperor Rune that he was in charge of. The illusion created by the Demon Pagoda was very special. Everyone could only rely on themselves to break the illusion. If someone helped then, the person who helped would also be pulled into the illusion. At that time, the power of the illusion would be greatly increased. Lin Feng's Heavenly Demon Snake Eye had broken the illusion of the Devil Pagoda. However, if the demonic pagoda's illusory realm was enhanced several times, or even more than 10 times, then even the Heavenly Demon Snake Eye would not be able to break it. So at this time, not helping was the best choice. Not long after, Xue Qianwu woke up. Her cultivation was the highest, so it wasn't strange for her to be the first to break the illusion. Xue Qianwu looked at Mei, Lan, Zhu, Hua, and Spiritual Fairy proudly. Seeing that the 7 ladies were still in the illusion, she sneered. But in the next moment, Xue Qianwu's expression froze because she saw that Lin Feng was actually squatting in front of the monarch pattern and repairing it. How is this possible? Xue Qianwu's face was filled with disbelief. In her opinion, Lin Feng's cultivation was the lowest. The last person to overcome the illusion should be Lin Feng. How did Lin Feng become the first to overcome the illusion? This made Xue Qianwu very puzzled. But Lin Feng had indeed overcome the illusion. This was an indisputable fact. Xue Qianwu looked at Lin Feng and asked, How did you overcome the illusion? Do you want to know? Lin Feng glanced at Xue Qianwu and smiled faintly. Why would I ask if I don't want to know? Xue Qianwu couldn't help but roll her eyes. One had to admit that if a person was beautiful, even an action like rolling her eyes was very charming. Lin Feng didn't like Xue Qianwu's arrogant personality. In fact, he hated it. However, Lin Feng didn't have any resistance towards Xue Qianwu's body. This woman was indeed beautiful. But so what if she was beautiful? Lin Feng didn't even want to bother with Xue Qianwu. He said indifferently, Even if you want to know, I won't tell you. You dare to trick me? Xue Qianwu looked at Lin Feng angrily. At this moment, Xue Zihua also woke up. Seeing that Xue Zihua had woken up, Xue Qianwu snorted and retracted her gaze. She didn't continue to argue with Lin Feng. After Xue Zihua woke up, Xue Zimei and the others also woke up. When they found out that Lin Feng was the first person to overcome the illusion, they were extremely shocked. Mei, Lan, Zhu, and Hualing Xian knew how powerful the Devil Pagoda's illusions were. It was Lin Feng's first time coming into contact with such a powerful illusion, and he was actually able to overcome it in such a short time. What did this mean? The 7 girls were very clear about it. At this moment, Xue Zimei was even thinking if she should really do as her 5th sister, Xue Zihua, said and seduce Lin Feng. Following a man like Lin Feng, it seemed pretty good. However, Xue Zimei's face quickly turned pink, and she couldn't help but spit at herself in her heart. What was she thinking about? In the past, she wouldn't have thought about such things. Since Lin Feng had appeared, she had been thinking about many things that would make her blush and her heart race. Shuezime couldn't help but stare fiercely at Lin Feng. She blamed everything on Lin Feng. If this guy hadn't appeared, how could she have become like this? Lin Feng and Shuezime weren't far from each other, and he also saw Shuezime's glare. Lin Feng felt strange. Did he offend this woman? Why is she glaring at me? After muttering to himself, he ignored Shuezime and continued to focus on repairing the Emperor's mark. It took about half a month for the 9 of them to finish repairing the Emperor's mark. It's finally done. Everyone let out a long sigh of relief. After half a month of working day and night to repair the Emperor's mark, everyone was physically and mentally exhausted. They didn't continue to stay, and directly soared into the sky and flew outside. After returning outside, everyone dispersed and returned to their own residences to rest. When Lin Feng passed by Shuezime, he said in a low voice, "Come and help me bathe." Shuezime blushed and glared fiercely at Lin Feng. 3 days have passed. I'm not your servant anymore. I see. Then I'll invite you again. Let's bathe together. What do you think? Said Lin Feng with a smile. Shuezime bit her red lips, her eyes sparkling. She humped softly and left Lin Feng behind. Lin Feng was confused. What did this woman mean? Did he agree or not? After returning to Inga's courtyard, Lin Feng soaked in a hot spring bath, changed into clean clothes, and slept well. The next day, Lin Feng continued to study the Snow Clan's immortal stone. This immortal stone was no small matter. Lin Feng had the feeling that it contained an enormous secret. However, in order to comprehend it, one needed luck. He hadn't given up on studying the immortal stone. He sat down cross-legged, his palms facing the sky, and continued to study the immortal stone's mysteries. Heaven and earth is one. Heaven and earth is one. Suddenly, the faintly discernible voice from the immortal stone spoke again. She didn't stay with Lin Feng, perhaps because she was worried that she wouldn't be able to control herself when she was alone. Or perhaps she was worried that Lin Feng would do something even more outrageous. After Shuezime left, Lin Feng returned to his room and continued studying the immortal stone. Unfortunately, Lin Feng hadn't been able to comprehend the Tao contained in the immortal stone until someone came to inform him that the lost civilization had appeared. The lost civilization had appeared. Of the 7 sisters, Mei, Lan, Zhu, Ju, and Hua, only Xue Zihua didn't go because she had to stay in Snow City. Xue Xian and Xue Fei also followed Shuezime and the others to the lost civilization. In fact, they had left more than a month ago. After the lost civilization had appeared, they had sent a message to Snow City. By now, the lost civilization had already appeared for some time. Lin Feng gave the celestial stone to Xue Zihua. He wanted to study the great Tao of the celestial stone when he came back. Lin Feng was already very close to understanding the great Tao of the celestial stone, so he wasn't going to give up. However, the most important thing now was to go to the lost civilization and see if he could obtain any opportunities. The treasures passed down from the immortal era would definitely be heaven-defying. This was also the reason why so many cultivators came from all over the world, even from hundreds of millions of miles away. Immediately, many of the cultivators who passed by burst into laughter. Each of them stared at Xue Qianwu's enchanting figure like a pack of hungry wolves, wanting nothing more than to devour Xue Qianwu in one bite. Xue hhhhm Xue Qianwu shouted coldly and sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng knew that Xue Qianwu did not have good intentions when she blocked him. That was why he had been on guard against her. Seeing Xue Qianwu's attack, he quickly retreated and dodged her attack. When Lin Feng was repairing the Emperor rune, he and Xue Qianwu had a conflict of words, although it was not a big deal. But obviously, Xue Qianwu did not want to let Lin Feng go. This woman was someone who would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. Teach. You're serious. I don't have the time to fight with you. You better not find trouble with me. Otherwise, I'll capture you and make you my slave. Lin Feng said fiercely. Reckless, who do you think you are? How dare you ask me to become your female slave? But your suggestion is not bad. I'll capture you now and make you my male slave. I'll trample on your dignity every day and let you know the consequences of offending me. Xue Qianwu. I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life. Xue Qianwu sneered and rushed over. You're a crazy woman. Today, this young master will tolerate you for the time being. Just you wait. When you land in my hands, see how I'll teach you. Lin Feng looked indifferent as he turned into a stream of light and flew away. Xue Qianwu chased after him. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. Even if Xue Qianwu was at the fifth heaven of the true God realm, she could not catch up to him. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Soon, Xue Qianwu was left behind by Lin Feng. Xue Qianwu has an ice body. Black Bear Devil King said. Ice body? What's so special about this body? Lin Feng asked. Hee. It's a body that's very suitable for dual cultivation. When your cultivation increases, you can indeed subdue her and make her a cultivation vessel. It'll be very helpful for your cultivation. Black Bear Devil King said. Black Bear Devil King used to follow Demon Emperor Chong Lu. Demon Emperor Chong Lu was a demon emperor who knew how many dual cultivation vessels he had. Hence, Black Bear Devil King was very familiar with such matters. Lin Feng rubbed his chin and said, That's a good idea, but I need to increase my cultivation first. I'm still not a match for this crazy woman. After flying for 3 days, Lin Feng finally saw the Lost World. It was hazy. The Lost World was enveloped by a ball of divine light. Within the divine light, a vast world appeared. That world emitted an ancient aura. Many cultivators flew towards that world at high speed. Lin Feng also quickly flew towards the Lost World. When his body came into contact with the divine light that enveloped the Lost World, Lin Feng felt his body being enveloped by space-time energy. Swish. Immediately after, his body was teleported out of the room. When Lin Feng reappeared, he was already in a dense primitive forest. He had yet to see his surroundings clearly. He saw a ball of shadow in the sky. Sharp claws quickly clawed at Lin Feng. The speed was so fast that it made one speechless. If it was anyone else, their head would have been crushed before they could even react. But Lin Feng's reaction was too fast. When the claws clawed at him, he slapped out with his palm. Bang! Both sides collided. Many white feathers floated down from the sky. The one who ambushed Lin Feng was a white bird. After exchanging a blow with Lin Feng, the bird knew that Lin Feng was not to be trifled with, so it turned into a ray of white light and quickly fled into the distance. Don't run, Lin Feng shouted and quickly chased after it. Chapter 1687. Lin Feng quickly chased after it. Even though the white ferocious bird was extremely fast, Lin Feng was even faster. He gradually caught up with the white ferocious bird. After catching up, Lin Feng finally saw what species the white bird was. It was a type of bird that Lin Feng had never seen before. Its entire body was covered in snow-white feathers. It had the body of an eagle, the claws of a roc, the eyes of a peacock, and the beak of a red-crowned crane. It looked extremely strange. F***CK. What kind of strange bird is this? Lin Feng shouted. When the white bird heard Lin Feng call it a strange bird, it immediately shouted in dissatisfaction, You're the strange bird. I'm one of the 4 holy birds. Lin Feng had never heard of any of the 4 holy birds before. He grinned and said, I think you should be called a freak instead. You're the freak. Your whole family is freaks. The 4 holy birds shouted fiercely. What a cheap mouth. When I catch you later, I'll pluck all your feathers and roast you. The taste should be pretty good. Lin Feng shouted fiercely. You want to roast me? Brat. I'm going to barbecue you later and make a human barbecue. The 4 holy birds shouted, unwilling to be outdone. Lin Feng increased his speed and quickly caught up to the 4 holy birds. He threw a punch at them, but the 4 holy birds opened their beaks and spat out dense purple lightning. The purple lightning all shot towards Lin Feng. The 4 holy birds had long since been prepared and had been waiting for Lin Feng to come over. When they saw Lin Feng coming over, they immediately launched a powerful attack, wanting to defeat Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he used void travel to dodge the 4 holy birds' attacks. The 4 holy birds' cultivation was not ordinary, and they should be in the divine flame realm. However, that level of strength was nothing in front of Lin Feng. Seeing Lin Feng disappear without a trace, the four holy birds shouted, "This is bad. He must have met an expert." The four holy birds pushed their speed to the limit, wanting to escape. However, at that moment, Lin Feng arrived above them and stomped on their backs. Feathers flew everywhere. The four holy birds cried out in pain. Then, they fell into the forest. Lin Feng also landed in the forest. "It hurts. You're trying to kill me." The four holy birds cried out. Lin Feng curled his lips. "That's right. I'm going to kill you right now." The four holy birds cried out in fear. "No. Spare me. As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything you want me to do." F***CK. You have no backbone. I haven't even made a move yet. Lin Feng was speechless when he saw the four holy birds lying on the ground, trembling. The four holy birds said, "Life is precious, and we only have one life. We have to cherish it. Dignity is not worth mentioning in front of life." "You have a lot of tricks up your sleeves." Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "It's not impossible for you to live, but you have to show me what benefits I can get by keeping you alive. Young master, this little one was born and raised in this world, and I know many things that others don't. If you let me be your guide, I guarantee that you'll make a fortune." The four holy birds said flatteringly, "Oh, born and raised in this world?" Lin Feng was delighted. "What treasures do you know? Tell me." 500 kilometers from here, there's a treasure called the soul-splitting grass. It can help a cultivator form a new primordial spirit. The four holy birds said. Lin Feng said indifferently, "I've already formed a second primordial spirit, so ordinary treasures that can transform the primordial spirit won't have any effect on me. Also, if I rashly consume it, it will harm my soul origin." Lin Feng had used the crimson blood lotus to transform his second primordial spirit. After his second primordial spirit had transformed, it had given Lin Feng double the power of his soul. It had also given Lin Feng the ability to do two things at once. In theory, a cultivator's soul could continuously transform into a new primordial spirit. However, this was only a theory. Transforming into a primordial spirit required a treasure. It required natural treasures, and natural treasures that could transform one's primordial spirit were extremely rare. Furthermore, each transformation of the primordial spirit was more difficult than the last. Thus, after one transformation, many treasures that could transform the primordial spirit were unable to support a second transformation. Moreover, the transformation of the primordial spirit was very dangerous. If the transformation failed, it would often cause damage to the soul. Therefore, Lin Feng was not particularly interested in the spirit-splitting grass that the four holy birds had mentioned. Of course, if possible, Lin Feng still planned to find this spirit herb. If he took it out to auction, it could be sold for an astonishing price. At this moment, the four holy birds said, "Young master, you may not know this, but the spirit-splitting grass is different from other treasures. Treasures that can transform the primordial spirit, such as the crimson blood lotus and the primordial spirit vine, only have 1/10 of the medicinal efficacy of the spirit-splitting grass. These treasures naturally cannot support the second transformation of the primordial spirit, but the spirit-splitting grass is different. Its medicinal efficacy is fierce and can completely support the third transformation of the primordial spirit." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. If what the four holy birds said was true, then he had to obtain the spirit-splitting grass no matter what. As long as he could obtain the spirit-hunting grass and transform his third primordial spirit, then Lin Feng would be able to do three things at once. Under normal circumstances, cultivators could only use one divine ability at a time. However, Lin Feng could now use two divine abilities at once. If he could use three divine abilities at once, he could use three divine abilities at once. This was an advantage. It was a crushing advantage. "All right, take me to find the spirit-splitting grass," Lin Feng said. The four holy birds' eyes flashed with a strange light, and they said flatteringly, "No problem. This little one will lead the way for young master right now." Lin Feng sneered. The four holy birds were obviously up to no good. They probably wanted to trick him. Lin Feng could sense the deep killing intent hidden within the four holy birds. He said indifferently, "Before I leave, there is one more thing I need to do." The four holy birds asked, "What is it, young master?" "Open your soul, and let me place a soul imprint on it. You will become my mount. I will also be able to rest assured, and let you bring me to find the spirit-splitting grass." Lin Feng said indifferently. The four holy birds' expression changed greatly. They had originally planned to lure Lin Feng to a dangerous place and kill Lin Feng. But now, Lin Feng wanted them to recognize him as their master. If that was the case, wouldn't they lose their freedom? "All right, I will recognize you as my master." The four holy birds nodded. Whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, their wings flapped. Wind blades swept towards Lin Feng like a storm. The four holy birds were only 4 or 5 meters away from Lin Feng. They were so close that they had suddenly launched a sneak attack on Lin Feng. They wanted to catch Lin Feng off guard. The four holy birds had clearly planned this all along. They had said that they wanted to recognize Lin Feng as their master in order to make Lin Feng let down his guard. Then, they would be able to launch a sneak attack on Lin Feng. "Brat, go to hell." The four holy birds let out strange cries as they looked coldly at Lin Feng. In their opinion, if they attacked at such a close distance, Lin Feng would definitely die. Chapter 1688. Lin Feng sneered. Fourth sacred bird. "You idiot. Did you think I didn't guard against you?" Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, a distorted black hole appeared above Lin Feng's right hand. It was the black hole formed by the devouring martial soul. A powerful devouring force appeared. It was emitted from the black hole. Then, it crazily devoured the wind blades that the fourth sacred bird sent out with its wings. Whoosh! When the fourth sacred bird saw its attack being devoured by Lin Feng's black hole, it turned around and continued fleeing. "Humph," said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. He opened his hand and a magnetic field condensed in the air. The enormous confinement magnetic field enveloped the four holy birds. Suddenly, the fourth sacred bird found it difficult to move. The fourth sacred bird trembled in fear and loudly begged for mercy. "Young master, please spare my life. It's all a misunderstanding. I was worried that you would be bored, so I played a little game with you. Please don't be angry." Lin Feng was speechless. He had seen thick-skinned people before. However, he had never seen one as thick-skinned as the fourth sacred bird. It could even say such shameless words. Lin Feng sneered at the fourth sacred bird and said, "I gave you a chance, but you didn't know how to cherish it. Since that's the case, I can only kill you and have a good meal." The fourth sacred bird trembled in fear and continued to beg for mercy. "Young master, my death is not worth regretting. However, I really do know many secrets. I will definitely bring you to find more treasures. I only ask that you give me another chance." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. The fourth sacred bird said that it knew many secrets, and Lin Feng did not doubt it. "Kill it." It was indeed a pity. "Thinking about that," Lin Feng said, "since you're sincere, I'll give you one last chance. Open your soul. I'm going to imprint it on your soul." The fourth sacred bird obediently opened its soul this time. Lin Feng imprinted the souls of the four holy birds. "Greetings, master." The fourth sacred bird flapped its wings and bowed to Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded and jumped onto the back of the four holy birds. The four holy birds' bodies were over 10 meters long, and their feathers were soft. It was very comfortable to lie on them. "Let's go. Let's go to the place where the spirit-splitting grass is," Lin Feng said. "Yes," the four sacred birds responded. Then, they spread their wings and soared into the sky, flying toward the depths of the forest. At that moment, the four divine birds said, "Owner, I've already told you everything. The spirit-cracking grass is guarded by a 1,000-eyed devil crocodile. That guy is not easy to deal with." Lin Feng didn't find it strange that such a precious heavenly treasure like the spirit-splitting grass was guarded by a powerful, vicious beast. He said, "Let's go over and check out the situation first." Along the way, Lin Feng saw many life and death battles in the forest. There were cultivators fighting against wild beasts and cultivators killing each other for treasures. Lin Feng asked, "Apart from the soul-crack grass, are there any other treasures around?" "If we're talking about treasures, then the monkey wine is the most precious. Monkey wine? What is this? Lin Feng asked curiously. In the depths of the forest, there's a group of six-eared macaques. Those six-eared macaques brew monkey wine. This wine is brewed with more than 3,000 precious heavenly treasures. If an ordinary person drinks a mouthful of it, their body will be greatly improved, and they will immediately turn from trash to a cultivation genius. Even deity realm cultivators like us who drink monkey wine can adjust our bodies, remove the impurities in our bodies, and help us temper our bodies. The less impurities there are in our bodies, the easier it is for us to communicate with the heavens and earth. The four sacred birds had an infatuated expression. It was obvious that they yearned for the monkey wine. Lin Feng suddenly became very interested in the monkey wine. When people ate grains, impurities would accumulate in their bodies, but some impurities were difficult to remove. The impurities in the body hindered one's cultivation speed. Perhaps he could use the monkey wine to temper his body. It was just as the four sacred birds said. The less impurities there were in one's body, the faster one's cultivation speed. Of course, there was another point. The less impurities there were in one's body, the easier it was for one to communicate with the heavens and earth. The easier it was for one to comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth. What was Tao? Tao was a kind of law produced by the purest source of the world. Therefore, the cleaner one's body was, the easier it was for them to communicate with the Tao of heaven and earth. For example, if Lin Feng's body was tempered by the monkey wine, he might be able to immediately comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth contained in the deity stone of the Snow Clan. Let's find the spirit-splitting grass first, then the monkey wine. Lin Feng said. Yes, Master. The four sacred birds sped up. On the way, Lin Feng met a group of people. There were men and women, about 30 of them. There were a few divine flame realm cultivators among them. They should be from large factions. Lin Feng noticed that there were 3 particularly beautiful women in the group. One of them was wearing a purple dress and was tall and slender. The second woman was wearing a pink dress and was more delicate than a flower. The third woman was wearing a red outfit and had flaming red lips. She looked quite seductive. When the woman in red saw that Lin Feng was looking at them, she glared at him ferociously. What are you looking at? You've never seen a beauty before. If you keep looking, I'll dig your eyeballs out. Tigress, Lin Feng muttered in his heart. Then he said, I'm looking at a beauty, not at you. When the woman in red heard Lin Feng's words, she immediately gnashed her teeth in anger. Looking at a beauty, not looking at her? Didn't that mean that she wasn't a beauty? The beauty in red took out a whip and rushed towards Lin Feng. Ha 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 ha, stinking bitch, go buy a beauty pill with a lot of money. Otherwise, who would want you when you're so ugly and have such a bad temper? Seeing the beauty in red rushing over, Lin Feng immediately laughed out loud. Bastard, I'm going to kill you. The beauty shouted angrily. The 4 sacred birds cried out, Ugly, monkey butt, ugly mouth is like a monkey butt. The beauty in red had fiery red lips, so she was actually very alluring. However, he was mocked by the 4 sacred birds into a monkey butt. How could he endure this anger? Right now, the beauty with fiery red lips was gnashing her teeth in hatred towards Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds. However, the 4 sacred birds were too fast. Before she could pounce over, the 4 sacred birds had already carried Lin Feng into the distance. He left the beauty far behind. Bastard, don't run if you have the guts. You're not a man. The beauty with fiery red lips cursed fiercely. I'm a good man who doesn't fight with women, lest they say that I'm a man who bullies women. Lin Feng shouted in front, and then the 4 sacred birds carried Lin Feng and disappeared in the blink of an eye. One day later, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds arrived at the place the 4 sacred birds had mentioned. This place was filled with swamps and poisonous gas. The spirit-splitting grass grew in the depths of the swamp. Chapter 1689. It said that someone found soul-splitting grass inside. That's a treasure that can create a nascent soul. However, it's being guarded by a 1,000-eyed devil crocodile, so it'll be difficult to deal with. At that moment, a group of cultivators flew over from afar. They stopped above the forest, and one of them spoke. When Lin Feng and the four holy birds saw that some people were coming, they hid in the distance and listened to their conversation. Thousand-eyed devil crocodile is a powerful beast. I don't think we're a match for it, right? A purple-robed cultivator said. I have a powerful treasure here called the 9 Netherworld Godly Iron Needle. If we work together, we'll definitely be able to kill the thousand-eyed devil crocodile. A middle-aged scholarly cultivator said. It's said that the 9 Netherworld Godly Iron Needle was forged from the 9 Netherworld realms' mystical demonic iron. I didn't expect this treasure to fall into your hands. Since we already have it, there's no time to lose. Let's go kill that beast now. All right, let's go. A group of more than 30 cultivators quickly headed towards the depths of the swamp. Lin Feng rode on the 4 sacred birds and followed behind them. He wanted to see how the group of cultivators would deal with the thousand-eyed devil crocodile. As the name suggested, the thousand-eyed devil crocodile's strength lay in its 1,000 demonic eyes. The eyes of the thousand-eyed demon crocodile could create endless illusions. If one's mind was weak, they would get lost in them. The most terrifying thing was that the thousand-eyed devil crocodile was not only capable of creating illusions, but it was also a beast with the bloodline of a divine beast. Therefore, its strength was extremely terrifying. Even without creating illusions, it would be extremely difficult to deal with the thousand-eyed devil crocodile, not to mention that it could create terrifying illusions. Therefore, the first few groups of cultivators died one after another. Soon, the group arrived at the depths of the swamp. There was a mountain range here that consisted of more than 10 peaks. The soul-splitting grass grew at the top of the main peak. The soul-splitting grass was wrapped in a ball of divine light, so it was easy to find. Haha, that's the soul-splitting grass. Let's go and collect the soul-splitting grass. More than 30 cultivators rushed towards the soul-splitting grass. Just as they arrived at the periphery of the mountain range, pooh. Suddenly, seals were activated one after another. When the 2 cultivators at the front made contact with the restrictive arrays, their bodies were pierced through. Blood dripped everywhere. Incomparably miserable. His body fell directly into the swamp. Clearly, he had died, killed by the restrictive spell. When the others saw this scene, their expressions changed greatly. He hurriedly retreated. Roar! Suddenly, a sky-shaking roar rang out and a massive crocodile emerged from the swamp. In one gulp, it devoured the 2 dead cultivators. At the same time, its mountain-like tail smashed towards the group of cultivators. It was as if Mount Tai was pressing down on him. Such power was truly terrifying to the extreme. Be careful. Many people cried out in horror as they dodged the attacks of the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. However, there were still 7 or 8 people who were too slow to dodge and were struck by the thousand-eyed devil crocodile. Crack! Crack! His body crumbled. He was whipped to death by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile's tail. Damn it! Let's kill this thousand-eyed demon crocodile. The middle-aged scholarly cultivator shouted angrily. He flipped his right hand, and a treasure appeared in his right hand. This treasure was a magic treasure that looked like an embroidery needle. It should be the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. The person who made this treasure must be a genius to be able to make such a small treasure. Of course, it was also possible that he was lacking in materials and could only make it so big. Although this treasure was small, its power was extraordinary. The 20 or so cultivators who were lucky enough to survive activated the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. The 9 Serenity's divine iron needle turned into a cold black light and flew towards the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. Thousand-eyed demon crocodile. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile let out a series of roars. Suddenly, the surrounding area turned into a world of darkness. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile disappeared. In this world of darkness, chains of order swept towards the 20 or so cultivators. A terrifying power that could destroy heaven and earth surged out from the chains of order. The 20 or so cultivators were shocked and wanted to use their divine abilities to resist. The middle-aged scholarly cultivator shouted, "Everyone, don't be fooled by the illusion. This is an illusion created by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. If we resist the illusory chains of order, we will be attacked by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. Now, follow me and activate the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. Break the illusion. The middle-aged scholarly cultivator's shout was like pouring wisdom into one's head. It gave the rest of the cultivators, who were originally panicking, a jolt of energy. They quickly cooperated with the middle-aged scholarly cultivator. Powerful magic power flowed continuously into the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. The 9 Serenity's divine iron needle was indeed a powerful treasure. It actually broke the illusion created by the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile. Then, the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle quickly flew in front of the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile and pierced one of its eyes. Roar, 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 roar. The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile let out a pained cry. One of its eyes was instantly blinded. The 20 or so cultivators were invigorated. They continued to control the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle to attack the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile. Puff, puff. The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile's eyes were continuously blinded. As for the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile, it screamed again and again as it suffered great damage. As the saying went, there was always something to subdue another. The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile was completely restrained by the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. Its eyes were continuously blinded. Before long, more than 30 of its eyes had been blinded by the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. If this continued, all of its eyes would definitely be blinded. At that time, it would definitely be a dead end. The group of cultivators couldn't help but look happy. They seemed to have seen hope of killing the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile. But at that moment, the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile roared, "You lowly existences, you have thoroughly angered me. I will make you pay with your lives." As soon as the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile finished speaking, it opened its bloody mouth and spat out a strong poison that filled the sky. "We've already taken the antidote. The strong poison has no effect on us." The group of cultivators sneered, but soon, they were shocked to find that their bodies had begun to rot. "Stupid creatures, my most powerful technique is the strong poison essence in my body. Even a god would have to retreat in the face of my strong poison essence, let alone you." The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile sneered. "How can this be?" The group of cultivators looked at their rotting bodies in horror, but there was nothing they could do. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 people had been poisoned to death. One by one, the corpses fell from the sky. The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile's cold eyes looked at the corpses, then rushed over and swallowed them all. Suddenly, the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile seemed to sense something. Its cold eyes looked at the main peak of the mountain where the soul-splitting grass grew. The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile saw a scene that infuriated it. A human cultivator had taken advantage of the fact that it was fighting with a group of cultivators to break the seal protecting the soul-splitting grass and dig it out. Chapter 1690. The person who broke the restriction and dug out the spirit-splitting grass was naturally Lin Feng. Just now, he saw the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile fighting with a group of cultivators, so he took advantage of this opportunity to make a move. If he missed this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it would not be easy to snatch the spirit-splitting grass from the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile. This was because the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile was too strong. "Human, you're courting death." The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile roared angrily, its eyes filled with endless killing intent. The 1,000-eyed demon crocodile raised its huge claws and pressed down on the void. Buzz, immediately after, a mountain-like energy claw condensed in the sky. That energy claw, it descended from the sky. It was as if it could suppress the world. Its power was unimaginably terrifying, causing Lin Feng to feel a chill down his spine. This 1,000-eyed demon crocodile's cultivation was indeed terrifying. "It's over. It's over." The 4 sacred birds were trembling in fear. Facing the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile's attack, the 4 sacred birds did not even have the courage to resist. What a powerful 1,000-eyed demon crocodile! Lin Feng was shocked. This 1,000-eyed demon crocodile's cultivation had definitely reached the true god realm, and it was even a high-level true god. Of course, Lin Feng did not plan to fight to the death with this thousand-eyed demon crocodile. In any case, his goal was to obtain the spirit-splitting grass. Since he had already obtained the treasure, the best choice was to escape. Lin Feng's powerful magic power surged out of his body and wrapped around the 4 sacred birds. Then, he used the heaven-patching technique. Shwa. A light flashed. Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds had already disappeared without a trace. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile's attack hit empty air. In the next moment, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds appeared 10 miles away. The 4 sacred birds cried out, "Master, you're so strong. I admire you so much." Lin Feng kicked the 4 sacred birds away. "Are you a girl? If you're not a girl, don't disgust me." The 4 holy birds spread their wings and called out, "What kind of woman does Master want? This lowly one will capture her for Master to enjoy." Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. What kind of person did this damn bird think he was? He was handsome and kind. How could he do such a heartless thing? Rumble. In the distance, a loud explosion shook the heavens. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile's huge body shot into the sky and chased after Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds. Lin Feng sat on the back of the 4 sacred birds and said, "If we can't get rid of the thousand-eyed devil crocodile from such a long distance, then we'll be too weak." The 4 holy birds immediately called out, "Hee hee, don't worry, Master. Even though I'm not a match for the thousand-eyed demon crocodile, my speed is definitely superior to that of 1,000 years of hunger." Whoosh! The 4 holy birds transformed into a streak of white light and flew into the distance. Soon, they disappeared into the horizon. From the depths of the swamp, the furious roar of the thousand-eyed demon crocodile could be heard. "Find a safe place. I want to refine the spirit-splitting grass," Lin Feng said. "Then let's go to my nest," the 4 holy birds said. Lin Feng nodded. The 4 holy birds whistled and flew towards their nest as fast as lightning. One day later, the 4 holy birds brought Lin Feng to their nest. The nest of the 4 holy birds was in a mountain range. Vicious beasts ran rampant in this mountain range, making it extremely dangerous. Even cultivators didn't dare to rashly set foot in this place. The 4 holy birds flew into a huge cave. "Huh, this is an ancient cultivator's cave?" Lin Feng looked at the cave in astonishment. There was a stone bed, a stone table, a stone chair, and other things inside. There was also a spirit spring inside the cave. Even now, spring water was continuously flowing out of the spirit spring. The 4 holy birds said, "Master, I obtained an opportunity from this cave, and that's how my cultivation increased." "What was originally in this cavern?" Lin Feng asked. "There were a lot of precious divine pills, but I ate them all," said Lin Feng. The 4 holy birds said embarrassedly, "This is your good fortune," Lin Feng said. He paused for a moment, then continued, "Was there anything else?" "There were some miscellaneous items, but they weren't very valuable, so I threw them all out." The 4 holy birds said, "What about the cave's owner?" Lin Feng asked. The 4 holy birds said, "I didn't see the corpse of the cave's owner, and the cave was very messy at the time. He seemed to have left in a hurry and didn't have time to pack up some things before leaving." Lin Feng scratched his chin and said, "Maybe it's because something urgent happened." He then found a place, sat down cross-legged, and took out the soul-splitting grass. The soul-splitting grass emitted waves of divine light. It contained a shocking amount of energy. Lin Feng ate the soul-splitting grass and began to use the archaic dragonesque elephant art to refine the soul-splitting grass. The soul-splitting grass was gradually refined into the purest medicinal energy. Lin Feng's soul then began to absorb the soul-splitting grass medicinal energy. As the soul-splitting grass medicinal energy was absorbed by his soul, suddenly, Lin Feng felt it. Lin Feng felt as if someone had used a sword to split him in the middle in the most barbaric and violent way. This pain, it was simply unbearable. However, Lin Feng's willpower was too strong. No matter what kind of pain it was, he could endure it. Time passed. 3 days later, Lin Feng, who had been tortured to the point of hovering between life and death, finally calmed down. If it was an ordinary person who had been tortured for such a long time, their mind would have long collapsed. They simply couldn't withstand the medicinal energy of the soul-splitting grass. But Lin Feng's willpower was extremely strong, and he was able to withstand it. At this moment, his third primordial spirit began to split. This lasted for about 7 days. Lin Feng's third primordial spirit finally split successfully. Although his face was a little pale, his mood was incomparably happy. He raised his right hand, and suddenly, 3 energy balls appeared in his right hand. The first energy ball sealed the Emperor technique, 9 slashes of the Demon Emperor. The second energy ball contained the 4-armed Sacred Demon Fist, an Emperor technique. The third energy ball sealed the Emperor technique, 10,000 Demon Reincarnation Fist. This was the so-called 3 uses 1 mind. His heart stirred. He could condense 3 sacred arts at the same time to fight against his enemies. It was as if there were 2 Lin Fengs who looked exactly the same. Anyone who fought against Lin Feng would be like fighting against 3 Lin Feng. Congratulations, Master, on forming a third primordial spirit. The 4 sacred birds hurriedly congratulated Lin Feng. Lin Feng said with a smile, "Not bad. Not bad. This time, you also contributed to the transformation of the third primordial spirit. However, I heard that a cultivator's soul can transform into a maximum of 9 primordial spirits. I just don't know if this rumor is true." The 4 sacred birds said, "The number of heaven and earth is 9, so this saying is still reasonable. However, it is too difficult to find a heavenly treasure that can allow the primordial spirit to continue transforming." "That's right." Lin Feng nodded. He rested for a day. Lin Feng recovered to his original state. He and the 4 sacred birds went to the mountain where the 6-eared macaque was. When they passed by a lake, an earth-shaking roar could be heard. From afar, Lin Feng saw a group of cultivators attacking a winged silverback dragon. Chapter 1691. The winged silverback dragon was about 100 meters long. Its body was covered in black scales, but its back was covered in silver-white scales, hence its name. This dragon belonged to the Western dragon race. It looked like an oversized lizard. Now that the winged silverback dragon was surrounded by a group of people, it was clearly on the verge of collapse. The people attacking the winged silverback dragon were none other than the group of young cultivators that Lin Feng had seen before. The 3 beauties had left a deep impression on him. Furthermore, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds had teased the beauty with blazing red lips, causing her to grit her teeth in anger. This group of people was not weak, and all kinds of powerful magic treasures were flying in the sky. From their equipment, one could tell that they were not ordinary people. However, there were too many factions in the 9 prefectures. They were as numerous as the hairs on an ox. Powerful factions could be seen everywhere. One had to know that the Tianwu continent was only one of the prefectures in the 9 prefectures world. The Tianwu continent already had so many factions, not to mention the 8 prefectures in the 9 prefectures world. As for how many factions there were, no one knew. Lin Feng guessed that this group of people did not come from the 10 great immortal sects. Judging from the divine abilities they were using, they were not the top divine abilities of the 10 great immortal sects. Therefore, Lin Feng guessed that these people should be disciples of aristocratic families. The thing that the winged silverback dragon was guarding should not be simple. Since this winged silverback dragon lived in the lake, Lin Feng guessed that there might be a cave abode under the lake. This was, of course, a possibility. He shouted from afar, "Do you need help? There is strength in numbers. I am not a greedy person. After this matter is done, I will take 30% of the treasures, and you will take 70%. How about it?" When the group heard Lin Feng's words, they rolled their eyes. They looked at each other and muttered in their hearts, "This guy wants to take 30% of the treasures? Why is he so shameless? Moreover, we can deal with the winged silverback dragon alone. We don't need help from outsiders." At this moment, everyone suddenly realized that Lin Feng was a little familiar. Soon, they remembered Lin Feng. Wasn't this the strange combination of a man and a bird? "Kid, it's you. Don't run." When Flaming Hot Lips saw Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds, she didn't even care about the winged silverback dragon. She quickly flew towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng shouted, "You should help them deal with the double-winged silverback dragon. I'm not in the mood to fight with you." "White bird, Let's go. Whitebird was what Lin Feng called the four sacred birds. Of course, the four holy birds didn't like this nickname. Thus, upon hearing the words Whitebird, the four holy birds began to roll their eyes. The four holy birds spread their wings, and their speed was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, they had rushed into the distance. The woman with blazing hot lips wasn't fast enough to catch up with the four holy birds, so she angrily returned and madly attacked the winged silverback dragon to vent her anger. Half a day later, the four holy birds brought Lin Feng to the mountain where the six-eared macaque lived. The six-eared macaque was a very powerful spirit beast. This type of spirit beast was extremely intelligent and was best at imitating various abilities. It was said that the six-eared macaque only needed to watch someone use a divine ability a few times. It could imitate it on its own. This kind of ability was heaven-defying. But the most shocking thing was still, the six-eared macaque could imitate a divine ability. Its power was about the same as the other party's divine ability. Although it sounded unbelievable, the six-eared macaque really did have this kind of heaven-defying ability. Perhaps this was a special ability that the heavens had bestowed upon the six-eared macaque. Others couldn't be envious of it. The four holy birds and Lin Feng carefully entered the mountain. The four holy birds pointed at a valley and said in a low voice, "That's where the six-eared macaques live. There are about 100 of them, but they're very strong. The monkey wine is in their cave, so there must be a six-eared macaque guarding it. It'll be very difficult to get the monkey wine." Lin Feng nodded. It really wasn't easy to get the monkey wine. "Hey, there's someone here." He raised an eyebrow. Although the other party had deliberately concealed their aura, Lin Feng still sensed it. The four holy birds whispered, "It seems that someone is still eyeing the monkey wine." "Yes." Lin Feng nodded. It was very normal for someone to be eyeing the monkey wine. "Ha ha ha, the monkey wine. The merfolk want it." At that moment, loud laughter came from the distance. A dozen merfolk flew over, led by two merfolk from the Purple Scale clan. They were the royal family of the merfolk. It was no wonder that they were so unbridled. The merfolk had always been arrogant. Moreover, there were also merfolk from the Purple Scale clan here. It was unknown how the Nine States Alliance had negotiated with the merfolk in the past. These merfolk had dared to come to Jiuzhou. Thinking about it, it was clear that the merfolk race must have paid a huge price back then. Otherwise, they would not have been able to survive. If the merfolk had dared to come to Jiuzhou, the Nine States Alliance wouldn't have let them go. "Ha ha ha, my tribe is also very interested in the monkey wine." Loud laughter came. Then, more than 20 people flew out of the forest. This group of people was the group that Lin Feng had sensed. These 20 or so people were also experts. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly narrowed. There was an old man in this group that he recognized. Previously, in the overseas world, there was a disciple of a large clan called Young Master Chong who saw Bibi and Dragon Rabbit playing. He had evil thoughts and wanted to capture Bibi and Dragon Rabbit. The two little fellows fled in a sorry state. Dragon Rabbit was injured and almost died. This Young Master Cho and his subordinates were all killed by the furious Lin Feng. Before killing Young Master Chong, a true god expert appeared. That old man even threatened Lin Feng. He told Lin Feng to release Young Master Chong. However, Lin Feng didn't care and killed Young Master Chong. Then, he quickly fled. That true god expert chased Lin Feng for a long time, but he couldn't catch up to Lin Feng. In the end, Lin Feng successfully escaped. Among this group of people, there was that true god realm old fellow. The northern barbarian state's Dong clan. Clearly, the mermaid cultivators recognized these people and couldn't help but raise their eyebrows. "Ha ha ha, how lively. My Chu clan is also interested in joining in the fun this time." Laughter rang out, and then another group of experts arrived. There were about 30 people in this group, and the leader was a tall and sturdy middle-aged cultivator. The northern barbarian state's Chu clan. TSK. Two of the 10 great clans of the northern barbarian state are here today. A mermaid from the purple-scaled clan sneered. Lin Feng's heart shook. He suddenly thought of Chu Wintian from the Tianwu continent. Back then, the Timur Rebellion. After his battle with Mose Tianzuan, He and Mose Tianzuan had been swept into the space-time reversal and arrived in the banished world. At that time, Chu Wentian had come from the 9 prefectures and established the heaven-seeking city and the heaven-seeking army. He ruled over the 72 prefectures that Mose Tianzuan had originally occupied. Chu Wentian was the young master of the Chu clan of the northern barbarian state. Not only was he strong, but he was also outstanding. Chapter 1692. Everyone, let's do it. As for how much monkey wine you can get, that will depend on your own abilities. A merman from the Purple Scale clan said. The elites from the northern barbarian states Dong clan and Chu clan had no objections. Whoosh, whoosh. The elites from the 3 forces flew into the depths of the valley. Leave immediately, otherwise we'll kill you. A cold voice came from the valley. Hundreds of 6-eared macaques rushed out of the cave, looking coldly at the uninvited guests. These 6-eared macaques were not particularly tall. It was only about 1 meter tall. Their bodies were covered in black fur, and they emitted a ferocious aura. We're here for the monkey wine. We have no intention of becoming enemies with the 6-eared macaques. If you hand over the monkey wine to us, we'll leave immediately. The leader of the Dong clan said, How dare you covet my clan's treasure? All of you deserve to die. The Monkey King said coldly, Ignorant of the times. Attack. A merman from the Purple Scale clan laughed coldly. Boom! A huge battle broke out. The Black Scale clan, the Northern Barbarian States Dong clan, and the Northern Barbarian States Chu clan. There were more than 70 elites from the 3 forces combined. Although they had fewer people than the 6-eared macaques, they had more people. However, the elites from the 3 forces had powerful treasures. They could rely on their treasures to suppress them. Bang, bang, bang. All sorts of powerful divine abilities were used, colliding in the air. The 2 sides were caught in a chaotic battle. The 6-eared macaques were extremely powerful. All sorts of divine abilities were thrown at the elites from the 3 forces. Lin Feng had thought that the 6-eared macaque's ability to mimic divine abilities was just a rumor. Now, he knew that it was true. Many of the 6-eared macaques were mimicking the divine abilities of the 3 forces. Poof, poof. Blood was spilled in this battle. Some 6-eared macaques were killed. Some cultivators from the 3 forces were also killed. Go get the monkey wine. The higher-ups of the 3 forces shouted. Some of the cultivators from the 3 forces immediately rushed toward the cave. They want to get the monkey wine. The others tried their best to delay the frenzied macaques. You wait here. I'll go get the monkey wine, Lin Feng said. Yes, master. The 4 holy birds nodded. Lin Feng, on the other hand, stealthily moved towards the cave. Right now, the 2 sides were locked in a fierce battle. He couldn't use his divine will to seal the void. This gave Lin Feng the opportunity to sneak into the cave. As long as these people did not use their spiritual will to seal the void, he could sneak into the cave through the void. Sure enough, just as Lin Feng expected, after he used the void travel spirit art, he successfully deceived everyone. They entered the cave. When they entered the cave, they saw that there was a huge battle going on inside. There were a dozen 6-eared macaques in the cave. Clearly, these 6-eared macaques had been left behind to guard the monkey wine. At that moment, the 6-eared macaques were engaged in a fierce battle with 7 or 8 elites from the 3 factions. Both sides of the fierce battle were stunned when they saw Lin Feng, an uninvited guest. Damn, so many people. The corner of Lin Feng's mouth twitched. He said, You guys continue fighting. I'm going to get something. Once I'm done, I'll leave. Then, he rushed towards the pool of monkey wine. Kid, do you have a death wish? The cultivators from the 3 factions looked at Lin Feng angrily, their eyes filled with killing intent. They had worked hard to kill these 6-eared macaques. Whether or not they could get the monkey wine was still uncertain. Lin Feng wanted to take advantage of them. How could the experts from the 3 factions let such a thing happen? The 6-eared macaques were also filled with killing intent. Anyone who dared to covet the monkey wine would be hated by them. Moreover, the fierce battle seemed to have a tacit understanding. They stopped at the same time. Then, they all charged towards Lin Feng. Clearly, The two sides had reached an agreement to get rid of Lin Feng first. All kinds of attacks came at him. Lin Feng quickly took out the death god armor to protect himself. Bang! However, these people were too powerful when they joined forces. The terrifying attacks sent Lin Feng flying. Even with the death god armor, Lin Feng had the impression that many of his bones had been broken. Damn, I'm so unlucky. Who can be worse than me when I'm surrounded? Lin Feng wanted to cry but had no tears. The six-eared macaques and the experts from the three factions were still preparing new attacks. Lin Feng naturally knew that if he fought against such a group of strong cultivators, he would definitely die. There was no way he could fight this battle. Kid, die. Many people from the three factions laughed coldly, as if they could already see Lin Feng being killed. Damn it! Do you think I'm a sick cat if I don't show my power? Today, I'll show you how strong I am. Lin Feng looked at the experts from the three factions and the six-eared macaques with a dark expression. He began to circulate his qi. Boom! The next moment, Lin Feng's body, his purple qi, was released. In an instant, it enveloped the entire cave. Bang! 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 Following that, the experts from the three major forces and the powerful six-eared macaques fell to the ground one after another. They couldn't even put up the slightest bit of resistance. They couldn't withstand the purple qi released by Lin Feng's body and fainted. After releasing the purple qi, Lin Feng felt an endless sense of weakness wash over him. Bibi, Lin Feng transmitted to the little guy. Bibi heard Lin Feng's call and flew out of the mountain river ring. Ya, ya. Seeing Lin Feng's pale face, the little guy cried out anxiously. Hurry up and take the monkey wine and get me out of here, Lin Feng said. Bei Bei nodded his little head and waved his little paw. A rainbow divine light enveloped the pool of monkey wine, and Bibi put it into the mountain river ring. Then, Bibi wrapped Lin Feng in its rainbow divine light. He used void warp, entered a parallel space, and left without a sound. This was Bibi's racial talent. After coming out, the battle between the three factions and the six-eared macaques was still very intense. It was the same situation as when Lin Feng came in. These people didn't have the energy to seal the void with their divine will. So, they didn't notice Lin Feng and Bibi. After meeting up with the four sacred birds, Lin Feng lay on the back of the four sacred birds. He hugged Bibi with both hands. The four sacred birds turned into a ray of white light and rushed into the distance. The six-eared macaques and the cultivators of the three factions who were fighting found that there was no movement in the cave for a long time and felt very strange. So, they all rushed into the cave. Then, an angry roar came from within the cave. Who? Who is it? Who took away the monkey wine? The cultivators of the three factions were filled with murderous intent. They had planned for a long time, but in the end, it was all for naught. This made them extremely angry. They wanted to tear the person who took the monkey wine into 1,000 pieces. Chapter 1693. All the treasures in the world belonged to those who were fated to obtain them. This was the cruel world of cultivators. In order to survive, they had to do their best to snatch treasures, consolidate their Tao fruits, and increase their cultivation. In this world of cannibalism, there was no mercy. There was only the law of the jungle. Lin Feng wanted to become stronger. He had far too many things to do, such as searching for his captured clansmen, rescuing his mother. Thus, no matter how great the danger, he had to do his utmost to seize all sorts of natural treasures and opportunities to increase his strength. Ya. Bibi lay beside Lin Feng and used its little claws to scratch Lin Feng's hair. From time to time, it would also use its little claws to scratch Lin Feng's face. Big brother is very tired. Don't mess around. Lin Feng rubbed Bibi's head. In Lin Feng's eyes, this little guy was not a spirit beast or a pet, but a family member, just like his little brother. Ya. Bibi called out a few times, then lay in Lin Feng's arms. With a wave of its little claws, a spirit fruit appeared in its hand, and then it began to eat it out of boredom. Master, should we go back to my place now, or go somewhere else? The four sacred birds asked. Go back to your place, Lin Feng said. The four sacred birds sped up. Soon, they returned to the cave. After resting for 3 days, Lin Feng's body had completely recovered. Then, he summoned Bibi, the dragon rabbit, the dark green mantis, and the scorpion king. Lin Feng filled the pool of monkey wine into wine jars. Then, he took out dozens of jars of monkey wine. Drink as much as you can, Lin Feng said. This was not the first time Bibi had drunk wine. After seeing the monkey wine, its big watery eyes lit up. Immediately after, the little guy directly hugged a wine jar that was filled with monkey wine and then began to gulp it down. Dragon Rabbit also learned from Bibi and picked up the wine jar to drink. Hee hee, monkey wine, good stuff. The 4 holy birds let out 2 strange cries and also began to shout. Then, the dark green mantis scorpion king also hugged a wine jar and started drinking. Wine but no meat. What kind of regret is that? Lin Feng couldn't help but shout. Then, he took out the frozen saber-toothed dragon meat and began to roast it. After the barbecued meat was done, the aroma of the meat wafted out. Everyone ate meat and drank wine. Dozens of jars of monkey wine were consumed. Bibi drank 3 jugs. Dragon Rabbit drank 2 jars. The dark green mantis scorpion king drank 2 jars. The cultivation of the 4 holy birds was relatively high, so they drank 10 jars. As for Lin Feng, he drank a total of 35 jars of monkey wine. The effect of the monkey wine began to take effect. Lin Feng felt as if there was a ball of fire burning in his body. He felt as if his body was about to be ignited. Immediately after, Lin Feng's body began to expel many dark red impurities that emitted a fishy smell. This was the dirty blood that had accumulated in his body from the many battles that could not be removed and the impurities that were difficult to refine. Now, under the effect of the monkey wine, it began to be constantly expelled from his body. Bibi, Dragon Rabbit, the 4 holy birds, and the dark green mantis scorpion king were the same. His body began to expel a large amount of impurities that contained dirty blood. Soon, Lin Feng felt his stomach growl. He quickly flew out and landed in the forest. He took off his pants and began to defecate. These were the impurities that could not be expelled through the pores of his body. After relieving himself, he felt refreshed. Moreover, Lin Feng felt that with just a thought, he seemed to be able to communicate with heaven and earth. He could sense the various daos of heaven and earth. After a large amount of impurities are expelled from my body, my connection with heaven and earth has become even closer. Lin Feng revealed a look of joy. His body was compatible with the great Tao of heaven and earth. This was helpful for comprehending the Tao. It was helpful for cultivation. In the future, Lin Feng's cultivation speed would only become faster and faster. It smells so bad. Looking at the blood on his body, Lin Feng couldn't help but want to vomit. Bibi, Dragon Rabbit, the 4 holy birds, and the dark green mantis scorpion king were also relieving themselves in the forest like Lin Feng. Now, the impurities that had accumulated in their bodies had been expelled. They all felt refreshed, but there was too much blood on their bodies. Bibi loved cleanliness and kept using its little claws to clean the blood on its body. However, the more it did, the dirtier it became. There's a big river not far away. Let's go wash up. The 4 holy birds said. Okay, lead the way, Lin Feng said. The 4 holy birds nodded and soared into the sky. Everyone followed behind the 4 holy birds. Soon, they arrived at the river. Then, they all jumped into the river to wash the blood off their bodies. After washing up, they returned to the 4 holy birds' nest. Lin Feng planned to go into seclusion for a few days before continuing to look for other opportunities. 2 days later, at night, a group of cultivators flew over from afar, looking for a place to rest. Lin Feng sealed the cave of the 4 holy birds with a restriction. He didn't choose to show himself because he didn't want to cause unnecessary trouble. More than 10 cultivators were resting on a platform about 100 meters away from the cave of the 4 holy birds. At that moment, a cultivator said, I wonder if the news about the dragon crystal rice is true? I hope the news we received is true. The rest of the people were also looking forward to it. Another person said, if we can really obtain the dragon crystal rice, it will be our good fortune. These people didn't talk much about the dragon crystal rice. Soon, They found a place to rest. However, Lin Feng heard their short conversation. He had heard of the dragon crystal rice before. It was said that it was the food of the dragon clan's royal family, the true dragon clan. Why was the true dragon clan so powerful? It was inseparable from eating the dragon crystal rice. The dragon crystal rice was a supreme treasure. After eating it, one's cultivation would definitely increase greatly. Lin Feng had thought that the dragon crystal rice had long become something that only appeared in legends. It was only today that he found out that the dragon crystal rice actually existed in this world. The four holy birds said, "Master, dragon crystal rice has actually appeared. This is the food of the true dragon clan." Back then, even the divine dragon, sky dragon, and other powerful divine beasts were not qualified to eat it. If we can obtain the dragon crystal rice, it would be a great opportunity. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Follow these people tomorrow and see where they go." The next day, a group of people set off. Lin Feng and the four holy birds followed behind this group of people. This group of cultivators flew towards the northwest. Finally, they arrived at the depths of an ancient forest. There were 9 huge dragon veins gathered together here. It was like 9 true dragons bearing their fangs and brandishing their claws. Cultivators continued to arrive. Obviously, many of them had received news of the dragon crystal rice here. Rumble. A loud sound was heard. A huge ancient ship flew over from the distance. After seeing the ancient ship, Lin Feng immediately revealed a shocked expression. Chapter 1694. The Pirate Ship of the Gods. Lin Feng was naturally very familiar with this pirate ship. This was the Empress's pirate ship. Now, after the Empress came to the Jiuzhou continent from the Tianwu continent, she seemed to have stopped being a pirate. Even the pirate flag on the god's pirate ship had been removed by the Empress. The Empress was the Martial Heaven continent's #1 beauty. She was innately seductive, and even the simplest of movements was enough to captivate a person. Whether it was a man or a woman, they were unable to resist her charms. I wonder where Feng Yaorao is now? Lin Feng couldn't help but scratch his chin. Back then, the 9 great pirate kings had set off for the 9 prefectures. Since the Empress had appeared, it was obvious that Feng Yaorao had also come to the 9 prefectures. Lin Feng somewhat missed Feng Yaorao, this vixen. Suddenly, the sound of Dao could be heard from afar. More than 10 experts flew over. "They are from the Dao Profound sect," someone exclaimed. The origin of this Dao Profound sect was also extremely extraordinary. This force came from the Northern Barbarian state. The Northern Barbarian state was the state closest to the Icy Plains world. Strictly speaking, the Icefield world was a part of the Northern Barbarian province. It was just that the climate of the Icy Plains was too harsh and unsuitable for survival. Other than the Snow Clan and the Ice Clan, there were no other powers in the Icefield. There were so many different forces in the Northern Barbarian state. Among these forces, there was also a strict hierarchy. The most powerful sect was the Reincarnation Celestial sect, one of the top 10 celestial sects. They had passed down the ancient and mysterious Reincarnation Celestial Sutra. In the past, several great emperors had personally visited them to borrow the Reincarnation Celestial Sutra. Below the Reincarnation Immortal sect were the 5 sects, 9 clans, 10 races, and 36 ancient kingdoms. These 5 sects were the Dao Profound sect, the Northern Meng sect, the Sun Moon sect, the Heaven Vein sect, and the Demon Vanquishing sect. The 9 gates were made up of the Evil Dao and the Devil Dao. Among the evil sects, there were the Evil Goose sect, Imperial Beast sect, 5 Venom sect, and Corpse Control sect. Among the Devil Dao forces, there were the Saint Devil sect, Profound Hell sect, Myriad sect, Blood Emperor sect, and Wanxiang sect. Among them, the Gu Evil sect in the Tianwu continent, which was the sect that Wu Qingqing belonged to, was a branch of the Gu Evil sect in the Jiuzhou continent. The Saint Devil Palace of the Sky Martial continent was a branch of the Saint Devil sect of the 9 continents. The relationship between Lin Feng and the Holy Maiden of the demonic Saint Palace was extremely ambiguous. Of course, it was the witch. This little girl was pestering Lin Feng, insisting on being Lin Feng's wife. However, Lin Feng hadn't seen Guangguan for many years. He didn't know how Guangguan was doing now. The top 10 clans were Dong Clan, Chu Clan, Wang Clan, Sun Clan, Li Clan, Chung Clan, Zhao Clan, Dongfang Clan, Murong Clan, and Shimin Clan. The 36 ancient countries included the Shang Zhou Ancient Country, the Spring and Autumn Ancient Country, the War God Ancient Country, the Xinhan Empire, and so on. These were the top forces. Below them, there were all kinds of clans, dynasties, empires, sects, and so on. There were simply too many to count. Furthermore, as the Tianwu continent and the Jiuzhou continent were connected, the Tianwu continent and the Jiuzhou continent were connected. Countless cultivators from outside the realm would also flood into the Nine States continent. That was because the Nine Prefectures continent and the Tianwu continent combined to form the Nine Prefectures major world. It was one of the top 7 major worlds of the 3,000 major worlds. The Nine Prefectures major world was the center of the 532 star fields. In the surrounding 532 star fields, countless stars revolved around the Nine Prefectures major world. As the center of the starfield world, the Nine Prefectures major world was naturally a place that countless people yearned for. So it could be foreseen. Not long after, there would be even more cultivators descending from the outer realm to the Tianwu continent. Then, they would cross the sea from the Tianwu continent to the Nine Prefectures continent. At that time, the heroes would fight for supremacy, and the kings would fight for supremacy. Who knew what kind of bloody storm would occur? After the experts of the Dao Profound sect arrived, very quickly, the Northern Mang sect, Five Poison sect, Corpse Control sect, Dong Clan, Chu Clan, Chen Clan, Zhao Clan, Spring and Autumn Ancient Country, War God Ancient Country, and other top forces all sent their cultivators over. The attraction of the Dragon Crystal Rice was too great. That was why it attracted countless cultivators. Looks like there will be a fierce battle, the 4 sacred birds said. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Many experts want to obtain the Dragon Crystal Rice. This is interesting. Let's see whose methods are better." Rumble. At this time, the restriction that enveloped the mountain range began to emit loud sounds. Everyone's spirits were suddenly shaken. The restriction on the mountain range was about to dissipate. At this time, the Empress walked out of the Brahma pirate ship. She then put away the god's pirate ship. Heavens! There's actually such a beautiful woman in this world. When the Empress appeared, countless people exclaimed in surprise, and their eyes burned with passion as they looked at her. The Empress was as tall as ever, and her figure was simply the most perfect golden ratio. She had the best appearance in the world. Her temperament was charming and alluring. The Empress smiled tenderly and said, "Am I beautiful? Beautiful. Too beautiful." Many people's eyes were shining. Even the experts of the top forces were unable to take their eyes off the Empress's body. This was one of the Empress's most powerful techniques. Her every move exuded a shocking charm that could charm all living things. "Do you like me?" The Empress continued asking. "Yes, we like you." Countless people shouted excitedly. Later, "Let me be the first to enter the mountain range. Do you agree?" The Empress smiled tenderly, looking extremely charming. "Yes, we are willing." Countless people shouted. Even if the Empress asked them to die, there would probably be many people who would choose to die without hesitation. This was the Empress's charm. She could make countless people willingly do anything for her. "This woman is getting more and more terrifying," Lin Feng muttered to himself. There were some people in the crowd who weren't affected by the Empress's charm, but such people could be counted on one hand. They were either people with strong willpower like Lin Feng, or people who had severed their 7 emotions and 6 desires. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Following 3 earth-shaking explosions, the restriction on the mountain range finally dissipated. The Empress smiled tenderly and said, "I'll be the first to enter. Stand guard outside and don't let anyone disturb me, okay? If anyone disturbs me, help me kill them. Is that all right?" "We're happy to help," countless cultivators shouted. The Empress smiled tenderly as she flew into the mountain range. "Damn, this is too ruthless." Lin Feng smiled bitterly. He didn't dare to act rashly now, because there were too many cultivators who had been charmed by the Empress. If he barged into the mountain range, he would definitely be attacked. At that time, he would definitely die. As for the cultivators who hadn't been charmed by the Empress, Their expressions were gloomy. However, they could only continue to wait for these cultivators to return to normal. Only then could they enter the mountain range to search for dragon crystal rice. Chapter 1695. Ah, what's wrong with me? It wasn't until an hour later that everyone came back to their senses one after another. The bewitched cultivators all had confused expressions on their faces, not knowing what was going on. Asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk when Lin Feng and the four holy birds saw that the group of people had woken up, they quickly flew towards the mountain range. Some of the cultivators who hadn't been charmed by the Empress also rushed into the mountain range. The restriction has disappeared. Let's go find the dragon crystal rice. Many people exclaimed. They rushed to the mountain range. Looking for the dragon crystal rice, it was a mountain range. If there were 1,000 locks on the door, there must be a noble living here. After entering the mountain range, Lin Feng used the dragon searching formula he had learned from Taoist Wu Yang. He used it to search for the dragon crystal rice. Relying on his senses, he went deep into the mountain range and entered a huge cave residence. However, he didn't find anything here. The Empress seems to have disappeared. Lin Feng frowned. Underground. He soon sensed something. Then, Lin Feng used the Earth Tao of the Great Five Elements technique and the Earth Tao of the Great Five Elements technique. The four sacred birds controlled the power of earth, fire, water, and lightning. They could also use the Earth Escape technique. Therefore, they followed Lin Feng underground. It's not up there. The dragon crystal rice must be buried underground. A cultivator said, "Let's enter the underground world." Many cultivators shouted. Then, these cultivators entered the underground world. When breaking through to the Yin-Yang realm, there was a realm called the Five Elements realm. It was the Five Elements technique of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Therefore, for cultivators, the Earth Escape technique was one of the simplest escape techniques. Everyone knew how to use it. Everyone entered the underground world and traveled through it. Although there were thousands of different kinds of Earth Escape techniques, some were strong and some were weak, they all had one thing in common. It didn't matter if it was a strong Earth Escape technique or a weak one. They could ensure that cultivators could travel freely underground. The earth element formed by the Earth Escape technique would separate the soil, sand, and stones. This was the wonder of the earth element technique. After reaching about 10,000 meters underground, Lin Feng suddenly stopped. "Master, what is it?" The four holy birds asked in confusion. "Run!" Lin Feng shouted. He ran off into the distance. The four holy birds knew that Lin Feng must have found something scary, so they followed Lin Feng without hesitation. Rumble. At this moment, the ground began to collapse. A huge and pitch-black underground abyss appeared. Waves of terrifying, devouring power could be felt. From the collapsed abyss, they surged out. Many cultivators who had dived into the ground were swept up by the powerful, devouring force. It was hard to resist. One by one, they fell into the abyss. "Ah, this is... no!" Soon, the cultivators who fell into the abyss screamed in terror. Soon after, the voices disappeared. Those cultivators had clearly died miserably in the underground abyss. What is it? Many cultivators did not dare to approach the underground abyss. They watched from afar, their faces full of fear. Right at this moment, black fog filled the sky. Soon after, densely packed zombies rushed out of the abyss. Zombies were very strange creatures. One could say that they were evil spirits, but they had a powerful physical body. One could say that they were living beings, but they did not have a real soul. Only an evil thought controlled their bodies. They were between evil spirits and living beings. They were terrifying existences formed from the corpses of dead cultivators after countless years of transformation. This was not the first time Lin Feng had seen zombies. However, this was the first time he had seen so many zombies. There were so many of them that he did not know how many there were. Moreover, these zombies were abnormally powerful. The more powerful they were when they were alive. After death, they would transform into zombies. The zombies they turned into were even more powerful. These zombies were so powerful that they must have been peerless experts when they were alive. Hurry up and run. Seeing so many zombies charging over, the surrounding cultivators were almost scared out of their wits. One by one, they screamed in fear. Then, they scattered in all directions. However, at this moment, the underground world was constantly collapsing. The area of the underground abyss was also constantly expanding. More and more zombies rushed out. Damn, how many people died here back then? Could it be a battlefield? Seeing the densely packed zombies below, Lin Feng could not help but feel his scalp go numb. Other than this explanation, he really could not think of any other. So many people had died. The key was, it was very difficult for zombies to transform. Even if it was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, to be able to transform into a few zombies was already quite heaven-defying. And the zombies here, they were densely packed and countless. They could even form an army of zombies. It was unknown how these zombies had transformed. Lin Feng held the black dragon sword in his hand and fought with a group of zombies. The most important thing now was to quickly break out of the encirclement and escape from the zombies' encirclement. Clang, clang, clang. The black dragon sword slashed onto the zombie's body and actually let out a series of metallic sounds. The bodies of these zombies were simply too hard. Even a supreme treasure like the black dragon sword was unable to harm their bodies. From this, it could be seen how terrifying these zombies were. The surrounding battles were also extremely intense. People were constantly being killed, and the dead cultivators were completely eaten up by the zombies. Scared the hell out of me. Scared the hell out of me. The 4 sacred birds saw the corpses of the cultivators that had been eaten up by the zombies. They immediately screamed in fear. In the end, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds were also separated. Puff, puff. Even someone as powerful as Lin Feng's body was injured. The zombie's sharp claws had scratched his body, and the corpse poison had invaded his body. This corpse poison was different from ordinary poison. The corpse poison was even more terrifying. It was even more domineering. Offer your soul. Offer your soul. And when the corpse poison invaded his body, a sinister voice resounded in his mind. Lin Feng knew that it must be because he had been poisoned by the corpse poison that he was hallucinating. Ruler. Judgment. He roared out loud and used all his methods. Under the encirclement of the zombie army, he charged left and right and finally rushed out. Heaven Flame Refinement. Immediately after, he hurriedly circulated the heaven flame to refine the corpse poison in his body. The corpse poison was extremely terrifying. Even with the heaven flame, it was difficult to refine it. Fortunately, Lin Feng had also cultivated the Great Poison Technique. He used the Great Poison Technique and the heaven flame to refine the corpse poison in his body. Finally, the corpse poison was completely removed. Looking at the battle in the distance, Lin Feng could not help but feel a chill in his heart. This was simply a disaster. Countless cultivators had died tragically. Scared the hell out of me. Scared the hell out of me. The 4 sacred birds shouted. This guy's methods were extraordinary. He rushed out of the zombie army's encirclement and then rushed to the surface. In the blink of an eye, he had disappeared without a trace. Lin Feng also rushed to the surface. This underground world was too dangerous. He could not stay here any longer. But just as he was about to leave, suddenly, a violent fluctuation came from afar. A small golden dragon drilled out of the ground and looked at the tragic battle between the zombie army and the cultivators in the distance. After seeing the small golden dragon, Lin Feng's eyes suddenly widened. He exclaimed in disbelief, "Heavens, this is a small dragon formed by dragon crystal rice? Has this dragon crystal rice already become a spirit?" Chapter 1696. Lin Feng did not find it strange that a treasure like the dragon crystal rice could produce intelligence. Therefore, he stared unblinkingly at the little golden dragon, wanting to confirm whether it was transformed from dragon crystal rice or not. It really is the dragon crystal rice that transformed into a small golden dragon. Soon, Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. He quickly charged towards the small golden dragon. The small golden dragon actually wagged its tail at Lin Feng provocatively, then quickly rushed towards the depths of the earth. The small golden dragon traveled through the earth unimpeded. However, it was not easy for it to shake off Lin Feng. Ordinary cultivators might not be able to catch up to the small golden dragon. However, Lin Feng cultivated an earth attribute divine ability that had evolved from the Great Five Elements art. The Great Five Elements art was a divine ability formed after Lin Feng's Five Emperors' dragon fists reached perfection. The Great Five Elements art contained the power of the basic five elements. The Great Tao of the Five Elements, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, was the most powerful Great Tao of the five elements. Therefore, Lin Feng's Earth Attribute Escape technique was executed. Its speed was even faster than the small golden dragon's speed. The small golden dragon was also extremely extraordinary. As it fled, it moved many huge rocks from its surroundings and smashed them towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng punched out, shattering the rocks with a single punch. After chasing for half an hour, they reached a depth of 20,000 meters before they caught up to the small golden dragon. Lin Feng threw a punch at the small golden dragon. A muffled bang was heard. The small golden dragon was sent flying by his punch. Then, the small golden dragon turned into a thumb-sized grain of dragon crystal rice. This grain of dragon crystal rice was completely golden, like a crystal. It was extremely beautiful. Lin Feng held the grain of dragon crystal rice in his hand and immediately felt a majestic energy being emitted from it. Dragon crystal rice was indeed a food that only true dragons could enjoy. Although there was only one grain, the energy it contained was unimaginable. In the absolute beginning era, everyone was like a dragon. The Black Bear Devil King suddenly said. Lin Feng asked in confusion, "What do you mean?" The Black Bear Devil Monarch continued, "The absolute beginning era was the fifth great era after the creation of the world. And in that great era, dragon crystal rice appeared. At that time, the production of dragon crystal rice was very large. At that time, even ordinary people could eat dragon crystal rice. Those who ate dragon crystal rice for a long time, even if they were ordinary people, would have their cultivation advance by leaps and bounds. They were even stronger than heavenly dragons and divine dragons." Lin Feng sucked in a breath of cold air. Heavenly dragons, divine dragons? These were existences that were second only to true dragons. In history, there had been more than one heavenly dragon supreme emperor and divine dragon supreme emperor. If eating dragon crystal rice could allow one to surpass heavenly dragons and divine dragons, that would be too heaven-defying. The Black Bear Devil King continued. However, the world changed, and the soil suitable for dragon crystal rice became fewer and fewer. Of course, at that time, dragon crystal rice wasn't called dragon crystal rice. As for what it was called, there are no records. However, it's said that the true dragon race improved dragon crystal rice, which is why dragon crystal rice didn't go extinct. After the true dragon race improved dragon crystal rice, the effects of the improved dragon crystal rice seemed to be even better than before. Lin Feng said, "It's normal that they didn't share it. After improving dragon crystal rice, they probably wouldn't share it with others. I'll find a place to refine this dragon crystal rice and see what the effects are." Swoosh. Lin Feng traveled through the underground world. Not long after, he saw a huge rock. He opened up a shelter within the rock and used restrictions to conceal his figure before starting to refine the dragon crystal rice. It took about 6 hours. Lin Feng had successfully refined the dragon crystal rice. What shocked him was that his cultivation had increased. A single grain of dragon crystal rice had almost helped him break through to the 9th firmament of the Nihility God realm. Isn't this effect too shocking? If I can find a few dozen grains of dragon crystal rice, won't I be able to break through to the divine flame realm? Lin Feng's face was full of emotions. He continued to search for dragon crystal rice in the underground world. Searching for the dragon crystal rice was like looking at a mountain. If there were 1,000 locks on the door, there would definitely be nobles inside. Lin Feng continued to chant the dragon searching incantation. This incantation was used to locate dragon veins and search for treasures. It had many unimaginable effects. Using the dragon searching incantation to search for dragon crystal rice was the best method in the underground world. Relying on the dragon searching incantation senses, he began to search the underground world. Not long after, he saw 3 small golden dragons traveling through the underground world. 3 small golden dragons. 3 grains of dragon crystal rice. I'm rich. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He carefully hid behind an underground rock, quietly waiting for the 3 small golden dragons to come over. Lin Feng completely concealed his aura. He even held his breath. He was afraid that he would alert the 3 small golden dragons. These small golden dragons were very cunning. Once they were alerted, if the 3 small golden dragons were to flee in different directions, then Lin Feng could only chase after 1 small golden dragon. At most, he would get 1 grain of dragon crystal rice. Now, Lin Feng wanted to hide and wait for the 3 small golden dragons to come over. Then, he would suddenly attack and catch them all in one fell swoop. The 3 small golden dragons didn't discover Lin Feng, who was hiding behind the huge rock. They flew over leisurely. When the 3 small golden dragons were about 20 meters away from Lin Feng activated the confinement magnetic field. He was worried that if he got any closer, the 3 small golden dragons would discover him and flee. After the confinement magnetic field was released, the 3 small golden dragons were imprisoned. Roar. The small golden dragons were intelligent. They suddenly swung their dragon tails and rays of golden light surged out. The 3 small golden dragons actually wanted to break free from the confinement of the confinement magnetic field and escape from the confinement magnetic field. Lin Feng's face suddenly changed. If he let the 3 small golden dragons escape, wouldn't it be like using a wicker basket to draw water? He hurriedly rushed over and threw a punch at the 3 small golden dragons. Bang! That tyrannical punch swept across the 3 small golden dragons. The 3 small golden dragons immediately turned into 3 grains of dragon crystal rice. Lin Feng put away the dragon crystal rice and was about to leave. Suddenly, figures flew over from afar. A total of more than 10 cultivators surrounded Lin Feng. Ha 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 ha, I searched high and low for you, only to find you by chance. I didn't expect to see you here, little bastard. Eerie laughter rang out. The person who spoke was the Dong clan's true god expert. He was the old man who had appeared when Lin Feng killed Dong Chung overseas. Brat, hand over the dragon crystal rice and we'll give you a quick death. If you don't cooperate, we'll cut you into 1,000 pieces and make you suffer endless pain before you die. An expert of the Dong family looked at Lin Feng with a sinister gaze, as if he was looking at a dead man. Chapter 1697. The Dong family had many experts, so they naturally did not put Lin Feng in their eyes. Moreover, they had a true immortal realm expert like Dong Zhuo on their side. When Lin Feng had first met Dong Zhuo, he had only been at the 5th level of the true immortal realm. Now, his aura was even more unfathomable. It seemed that he had made a breakthrough in his cultivation. Therefore, with such a powerful expert on their side, the Dong family cultivators were naturally full of confidence. However, it was obvious that they had underestimated Lin Feng. Faced with the threat of the Dong family cultivators, he said indifferently, "You bunch of trash are just mud that can't support a wall. I can stand here and crush you to death with one hand." Everyone in the Dong family was stunned. Then, these people became angry. In their eyes, Lin Feng was just a cultivator at the Void God realm. These Dong family cultivators did not put him in their eyes at all. So what if Dong Zhuo was not present? They could crush Lin Feng to death. Wasn't it as easy as crushing an ant? In the eyes of the Dong family cultivators, Lin Feng would definitely be scared half to death by them. But what about the reality? Lin Feng was so arrogant. He actually did not put them in his eyes. These people from the Dong family had always been high and mighty. How could they bear such humiliation? At this moment, the group of Dong family experts all had killing intent in their eyes. The Dong family cultivator who had just threatened Lin Feng was called Dong Quan. After hearing Lin Feng's extremely arrogant words, Dong Quan immediately laughed sinisterly. "Brat, you are really courting death. In this world, no one can save you. Later, we will let you taste the endless pain and torture in this world before we take your dog life." As soon as he finished speaking, Dong Quan jumped up and rushed towards Lin Feng. Dong Quan's cultivation was at the 5th level of the Divine Fire Realm. He was abnormally powerful. His right hand turned pitch black like ink. This was a powerful divine ability called the Netherworld Ghost Palm. It was an ultimate technique passed down by the Netherworld Emperor, and Dong Quan had obtained it. This could be considered an opportunity for Dong Quan. Relying on this Netherworld Ghost Palm, Dong Quan could even often challenge those of a higher level. Although Dong Quan was extremely disdainful of Lin Feng, he was still extremely cautious when it came to making a move. Impudent fool. You dare attack me with your puny cultivation level? Facing Dong Quan's attack, Lin Feng sneered. He didn't put Dong Quan in his eyes at all. Now, Lin Feng's opponent was a true Divinity Realm cultivator, not a Divine Flame Realm cultivator like Dong Quan. Lin Feng raised his right hand and unleashed a sky-splitting slash. A dazzling saber light condensed. The saber light vibrated slightly, and the void was instantly torn apart. This attack collided with Dong Quan's attack. Poochie. Then, a tearing sound could be heard. Lin Feng's attack was too powerful. First, it chopped off Dong Quan's right hand. Dong Quan let out an incomparably shrill scream. The next moment, Dong Quan's body was directly split in half by Lin Feng's saber light. This happened in the time it took for a spark to fly off a piece of flint. Many people didn't even have time to react before Dong Quan was already killed. Little bastard, you're courting death. Seeing Dong Quan killed, Dong Zhuo's eyes instantly turned blood red, and he roared with incomparable anger. Dong Quan was nominally his nephew, his elder brother's third son. But in reality, Dong Quan's real identity was Dong Zhuo's son. Dong Zhuo had an affair with his sister-in-law. She gave birth to Dong Quan. Even Dong Quan himself didn't know about this matter. Dong Quan was killed by Lin Feng. Dong Zhuo wished he could eat Lin Feng's flesh and drink Lin Feng's blood. He blasted a palm towards Lin Feng, wanting to kill Lin Feng. Dong Zhuo's cultivation level was profound, and he indeed had the strength to kill Lin Feng. If it was outside, it would be very dangerous to face an expert like Dong Zhuo. But underground, Lin Feng wasn't afraid of Dong Zhuo. Among the top inheritances of the Celestial Master sect, there was a way to control the 9 veins of the earth. The 9 veins of the earth meant that one could draw on various terrains, such as the power of the dragon veins or the abyss, to fight an enemy. Lin Feng was more than 20,000 meters underground, and there were huge rocks everywhere. This was a characteristic of the underground world. The deeper one went, the more rocks there were. Lin Feng used the Celestial Master sect's inheritance to control the power of the earth veins. Suddenly, the rocks in the underground world quickly gathered together to form huge stone dragons. A total of 18 stone dragons 1,000 meters long formed. Their roars shook the sky as they pounced on Dong Zhuo and the group of Dong family cultivators. Lin Feng took this opportunity to quickly leave. Dong Zhuo's cultivation level was too high, and the enemy outnumbered him. It was extremely unwise to stay and fight the Dong family experts to the death. Lin Feng was well aware of this. Bang, bang, bang. The Dong family experts, including Dong Zhuo, had to deal with the stone dragons formed by Lin Feng. In the end, they destroyed the 18 stone dragons, but Lin Feng had disappeared without a trace. Little bastard, I'll definitely tear you to shreds. Then I will pull out your soul and throw it into the boundless purgatory, so that you will never be reincarnated. Dong Zhuo roared with hatred. Search? You must find that little bastard. Yes, my lord. The Dong family experts quickly spread out to search for Lin Feng. At this time, Lin Feng had already dived to a depth of 40,000 meters. He found a hidden place, sealed the surroundings with a restriction, and concealed his figure. Then, he began to refine the 3 grains of dragon crystal rice in seclusion. Time passed slowly. The 3 grains of dragon crystal rice were gradually refined. The fluctuations in Lin Feng's body became more and more intense. 10 hours later, Lin Feng had completely refined the 3 grains of dragon crystal rice. The magic power in his body had been refined by the energy of the dragon crystal rice, becoming purer and purer. Loud rumbling sounds could be heard. The magic power in Lin Feng's body was like a torrential river, surging rapidly in his body. This was the great heavenly cycle. After the magic power in his body had completed 36 great heavenly cycles, Lin Feng finally broke through. He had broken through from level 8 Empty God Realm to level 9 Empty God Realm. Ha ha ha, I finally broke through. Feeling the powerful magic power surging in his body, Lin Feng's face revealed a smile. Boom. At this time, Lin Feng felt a shocking energy fluctuation coming from afar. There are still people so deep underground? He was slightly surprised. He came out of seclusion and flew towards the source of the energy fluctuation. After flying for about 10 miles, Lin Feng saw the battle. The Empress. Lin Feng was shocked. The Empress was the first person to enter the mountain range to search for dragon crystal rice. She was extremely enchanting and charming. Her beauty was suffocating. Chapter 1698. The Empress's opponent wasn't a cultivator. Instead, it was a pitch-black scorpion. The scorpion was about 10 meters long and had a huge barb on its tail. The barb was shining with a blue luster. It was obvious that it was highly toxic. That poisonous scorpion was very powerful and moved as fast as lightning. Hence, the Empress did not dare to be careless. The reason why they were fighting was because they were fighting over 10 grains of dragon crystal rice. That is. Suddenly, Lin Feng saw a cultivator hiding in the dark in the distance. He was slowly approaching the Empress. At this moment, the Empress was fighting with the poisonous scorpion. Hence, she did not notice the cultivator who was sneaking toward her. That cultivator was shrouded in a black robe. Although he had concealed his aura, Lin Feng could still sense a cold and terrifying evil aura from him. Is he from the Guxia sect? Or the Five Venoms sect? Or someone from the school of imperial beasts? Looking at the cultivator shrouded in a black robe, Lin Feng could not help but feel puzzled. That cultivator was obviously a demonic cultivator. Furthermore, Lin Feng guessed that it was the terrifying poisonous scorpion that was fighting the Empress. It should be the poisonous pet that the cultivator was controlling. To be able to control such a powerful poisonous scorpion, he should be from a top-tier demonic sect. The Guxia sect was good at rearing all kinds of poisonous beasts to cultivate poisonous insects. The Imperial Beast sect was good at controlling all kinds of ferocious beasts to fight against enemies. Among these ferocious beasts, there were also some that were highly poisonous. For example, poisonous scorpions and poisonous crocodiles were huge poisonous beasts. Needless to say, the Five Venoms sect was good at refining all kinds of strange poisons. This sect had even opened up many poisonous mountains. In these poisonous mountains, there were countless poisonous insects and beasts. These poisonous insects and beasts were made to kill and devour each other. Using this cruel method, they cultivated the most poisonous insects and beasts. Hence, that man in black was probably from one of these three sections. As for which sect he was from, Lin Feng could not make a judgment. Seeing that the man in black wanted to sneak an attack on the Empress, Lin Feng decided to take action. After all, he and the Empress were old acquaintances. How could he watch the Empress suffer and not do anything? Moreover, Lin Feng was a man who had tender feelings for the fairer sex. He couldn't bear to see a peerless beauty like the Empress perish. Red powder turned into a skeleton. What a heart-wrenching thing it was. Before making his move, Lin Feng first brought out the Death God armor. The Death God armor wrapped around him tightly. Although Lin Feng had cultivated the great poison art and many poisons were unable to harm him, Lin Feng was still able to use the great poison technique. However, that evil cultivator who wanted to sneak attack the great Empress might have some incomparably terrifying poison in his hands. If he fell for this person's trap, then he would be in deep trouble. It was rumored that a great emperor had been poisoned to death in the past. Clearly, these evil cultivators were extremely terrifying. They had a lot of tricks up their sleeves. In order to kill their opponents, they would stop at nothing. Poison was one of their favorite sinister tricks. Lin Feng naturally had to be fully prepared. Caution is the parent of safety. The world of cultivators was so cruel. Only by being cautious could one live longer. Whoosh! That evil cultivator leaped out and charged towards the great Empress. Kikik, die! He let out a sinister laugh. The great Empress was fighting with Poison Scorpion. At this moment, when she heard the voice behind her, her beautiful face suddenly changed. She felt an aura of death enveloping her body. Now that she wanted to escape, it was already too late. Haha, Great Empress, long time no see. Lin Feng laughed loudly, stepped out of the void, and swept a fist towards the cultivator who attacked the Great Empress. When the Great Empress saw Lin Feng, she couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. With Lin Feng's help, he stopped that evil cultivator. She was finally safe. Then, the Great Empress smiled and said, "So it's Lin Gongzi. Lin Gongzi is really my close friend. When he saw that I was in danger, he came to save me. I'm so touched that I can't wait to repay him with my body." Bang! Lin Feng and the evil cultivator collided, and he forced the evil cultivator to retreat. Then, he said, "Forget it. I won't fall for your tricks. You can't charm me." The Great Empress said pitifully, "I'm speaking the truth. You're about to die, yet you still dare to flirt in front of me. Today, I'll let the two of you die together." The evil cultivator sneered. Then, he took out a porcelain bottle and opened the cork. A cloud of dark green gas floated out. Seeing that the evil cultivator was full of confidence, Lin Feng knew that it was the dark green gas. It was definitely a terrifying poison that was unimaginably strong. Seeing that the poison was sweeping towards him, Lin Feng took out his heavenly fire. The heavenly fire burned fiercely, enveloping the poison and beginning to burn the poison that the evil cultivator had taken out. Chi 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 chi. The poison burned rapidly, emitting black smoke. However, what made Lin Feng feel like collapsing was that this poison was very strange. Although a part of it was burned by the heavenly fire, most of it passed through the heavenly fire and swept towards Lin Feng and the Great Empress. F***CK. What kind of poison is this? Lin Feng felt his scalp go numb. Kikik. This poison is refined from the corpse poison of a quasi-emperor cultivator. It was refined with more than 3,000 poisonous insects. Not to mention you. Even a heavenly god expert would be poisoned to death. The evil cultivator exclaimed proudly, "Shameless bastard, you can't beat us, so you use poison. I despise you." Lin Feng scolded. The evil cultivator's mouth twitched violently, then he said coldly, "I'm an evil cultivator, so what's so strange about using poison? Besides, when cultivators fight, the most important thing is to see who has the last laugh. Who cares what method you use to kill your opponent?" The Great Empress said coldly, "Then you're too happy. Although your poison is powerful, what if it can't be used on us?" The Great Empress's hands kept forming seals. Whoosh! She used a divine ability. Once this divine ability was used, suddenly, an illusory world appeared. That illusory world was actually a space-time reversal outside the realm. The space-time reversal was an unknown and terrifying world. It was dark, cold, and raging with space-time storms. There was only despair and death there. My divine ability is called the Great Banishing Technique. Today, I'll let you know how powerful it is." The Great Empress said indifferently. Once she used the Great Banishing Technique, the power of banishment surged out and enveloped the evil cultivator's poison. The evil cultivator's poison was immediately banished into the space-time reversal. Then, the power of banishment enveloped the evil cultivator. The Great Empress wanted to banish the evil cultivator into the space-time reversal. However, the evil cultivator was very strong, and he dispelled the power of banishment that enveloped his body. Then, he quickly retreated. His cold eyes looked coldly at Lin Feng and the Great Empress. Then he left with his poisonous scorpion. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.